Buckeyes have seen 7 national titles come their way. They still have hope for number 8. But it all starts tonight in a battle with Texas Tech for the Big 12 South title and a berth in the conference championship game. And we welcome you to Big Play Saturday, presented by Discover Card and T-Mobile. It is arguably the biggest game in the history of Texas Tech football, but their worst cut out for them. Tonight in Norman, before the 24th consecutive sellout, number 24, Texas Tech takes on the 4th-ranked Oklahoma Sooners. This is what they are playing for. 2 weeks from today, it's the Big 12 championship game down in Houston. Colorado is already there, and the winner of this game will play the Buffaloes. Hello again, everybody. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Ron Thulin. There is no doubt Texas Tech has never played a Big 12 game this huge in their history. Oklahoma, on the other hand, they have been there. Is that an advantage for Oklahoma?
Well, one would think so, because Bob Stoops has said, yes, we have been there before, but he also tempers that with, you have to earn your stripes every time out. So what's happened in the past has no bearing on tonight. For Texas Tech, they would argue that they were there just last week when they beat Texas, ranked number 3 in the country at the time, the first win for a Texas Tech team over a top 5 team in their school history.
I'll tell you what, Charles, it all starts for Texas Tech with their quarterback, Cliff Kingsbury, coming off that 6-touchdown, no interception performance against Texas. He fits this system
perfectly to a T, maybe a double T if you're in Texas Tech. 432 completions, that's led to 41 touchdown passes. He has the brain, he has the arm, and he has better legs than people give him credit for. The only problem, Texas Tech is minus 12 in turnover ratio, so ball security is the key for tonight.
Well, for Texas Tech, now, they have about 50 or 60 offensive plays. You throw in a bunch of options, which makes Oklahoma have a great need to find the right defense for them. And that goes on the shoulders of Teddy Lehman, their excellent linebacker.
The Butkus Award finalist, and he's a great player, and he'll have to be very heady tonight, not just physical. Got to get his team in the right alignment, get the right matchups at all times, and he's the guy that can do it. Oklahoma is plus 16 in turnover ratio. Which statistic will hold up tonight in this ball game? Oklahoma's or Texas Tech's? We'll soon find out.
And this is for the Big 12 South Championship. This is the 3rd consecutive home finale for Oklahoma. That's meant something. In 2000, they beat Texas Tech. That gave them the Big 12 South title. We'll step aside from Norman, Oklahoma. The Sooners are rocking and rolling, and so are the Raiders. And they're next. And we welcome you back to Owen Field Memorial Stadium in Norman, Oklahoma. They have sold out every game in the Bob Stoops era. The Texas Tech Red Raiders hope they have a prayer tonight when they have to rely on the shoulders of their Heisman Trophy candidate, Cliff Kingsbury. With more on the Heisman, here's Craig Sager.
Heisman ballots do not have to be returned until Wednesday, December 11th. But here's why opposing coaches of the Big 12 say that Kingsbury deserves the award. His ability to read defenses, to recognize defensive fronts and secondary alignments. They say he is smart, quick release, great vision, calm under pressure. He also has a great sense of humor. I asked him if he had ever seen a Heisman ballot today, and he says, no, I have a pen if you want to borrow it. Aaron?
Sager, you're all wrong. The Heisman ballots, they've already been turned in San Antonio, and Cliff Kingsbury has won it. Actually, 100 Boys and Girls Club members presented Kingsbury with their very own version of the Heisman and a homemade replica of a bobblehead. They did a great job with these. They presented them to him after Texas Tech beat Missouri. That Heisman stands about 4 feet tall, and that bobblehead about 4 inches. And you know Kingsbury would like the real Heisman, but no matter what happens, he's got to be happy the way his hometown has rallied behind him.
All right, Aaron, the Oklahoma Sooners in the tunnel. They're ready to take the field. They're moments away for a game that means everything for both the Red Raiders and the Oklahoma Sooners. The winner plays in the Big 12 South. He gets the Big 12 South Championship and plays Colorado 2 weeks from today. Well, you get more from life, get more minutes, more features, more service. An absolutely perfect night for football in Norman, Oklahoma. A crowd of better than 73,000 on hand. This is for all the marbles. Texas Tech won the toss. They have deferred. You can see the all-time series. Last year, Oklahoma won 30-13. In fact, they've beaten Cliff Kingsbury 2 out of the last 3 times. Kingsbury, by the way, his first collegiate start was against Oklahoma back in '99. Take a look at Clinton Greathouse. Now, Charles, this is a key. He is kicking with the wind here, but for the majority of the year, Greathouse has pooch kickoffs, letting the team get good field position. You think he'll do it tonight?
I wonder if he will, because he has the wind behind him. We'll see if they want to test his leg, but that tells me they're a little bit worried about their kickoff coverage if they like to pooch kick it.
Savage and Perkins back, and he does pooch kick it. Taking it about the 25-yard line, and that is as far as they are going to go. And Oklahoma, though, will take over with excellent field position. Now let's take a look at this Oklahoma offense led by senior Nate Hibble. Now he took over the Alabama game for Jason White when he blew out the knee. You take one game out of this year, this young man has been very consistent.
And when you talk about the one game, the Texas game that they did win because Quentin Griffin had a huge game running the ball, but Nate Hibble threw 4 interceptions that day. Take it away, only 3 for the rest of the year. So ball security is at a premium at Oklahoma. Nate Hibble is trusted at the wheel.
Oklahoma wants to establish the run tonight. They have done a much better job throughout this year, averaging just about 178 yards on the ground a game, but Hibble will put the first one in the air, down the middle, incomplete. Pass intended for Trent Smith, the big tight end. Let's take a look at the rest of the Oklahoma offense. If they do run the ball, it'll be in the hands of Quentin Griffin. 6 consecutive 100-yard rushing games for Griffin. Wide receivers are good. Antoine Savage, he's the big play guy. His touchdown receptions on the year, 38-yard average. Centers and guards, Mike Skinner, the Tahlequah, Oklahoma senior. He started 3 years. Jamal Brown at tackle. He is a future All-American. He is just a sophomore. 2nd and 10. Hibble looks right, throws left. Pass complete. Up to the 35, to the 40, to the 45, to the 50-yard line. Finally dropped down from behind Will Peoples. The sophomore out of Humboldt, Texas, picks up 22 on the play.
Oklahoma wanted to start fast tonight. Pass on the first play. Watch Nate Hibble look right, come back left on the wide receiver screen, and then look at the alley that he gets to run through because he gets excellent blocking. See how everyone picks up for him? Right here, if he doesn't run into Quentin Griffin, he still has a chance to get to the corner and make an even bigger play. But that's huge for Nate Hibble's confidence early.
Absolutely. Gets him in the rhythm, and ironically, they're using the screens that Mike Leach likes to use for Texas Tech. First running play, Quentin Griffin following behind the big block of Chris Bush and Kevin Shashan from the left side. Let's take a look at that Texas Tech defense. Under Greg McMacken, they held Texas to under 100-yard rushing last week. It starts with Adel Duckett at defensive end, the solid anchor. Linebackers, Lawrence Flugent, already broken the NCAA record for tackles. And in the secondary, Ryan Aycock, the junior out of Lubbock. They'll be making the calls for those defensive backs. 2nd down and 2 for the Sooners. Up to about the 38-yard line. That'll be close to a first down. Adel Duckett, the sophomore out of Mineral Wells, Texas, on the stop. Fans, this telecast is available with Spanish translation via the SAP button on your remote control. Well, so far we're seeing the balance that Oklahoma showed all the way back to the spring game. They're not afraid to throw the ball, as we've seen, but their running game has evolved so much that now they can go to it when they need to.
I think Bob Stoops put it best when we met with him yesterday. We can now run the ball when we want to run the ball, not as dictated by the defense. And that's what he had been looking for all year long with this offense.
From the shotgun. Conley in motion. Hibble rolls, throws, complete up to the 30-yard line to Peoples again. His 2nd reception. What a job, though, that Bob Stoops has done for this Oklahoma Sooner team in his 4th year. The 42-year-old out of Youngstown in Ohio, played for Iowa. He has given this team something that he had when he played, when he was assistant at both Florida and at Kansas State. Attitude, attitude, and attitude.
And they really look to him for everything because he sets the tone, a guy who's never ruffled. Team feels that they're never out of a game because their head coach always has confidence in them.
2nd and 3. Griffin over the left side. Breaks the tackle. Take that back. Kewan Jones. He gets down to about the 20-yard line.
Watch Kewan Jones. He's going to come right here. Big power running play. Now, Kewan Jones, they list him at 187 pounds, so you think he'd be more of a scat back. He runs as if he were 225 pounds. Moves the pile forward every time. He's the guy who gets the ball in their short yardage and jumbo set. the guy that they want to have the ball at all times in that situation.
There's Mike Leach in his third year. 41-year-old out of Cody, Wyoming. Actually has his law degree from Pepperdine. His coaching's a little bit easier. He'll run in the option. Griffin gets hog-tied at about the 17-yard line. Aaron Hunt coming from that defensive end spot, the senior out of Denison, Texas. There you see the numbers on Aaron Hunt. Now, he had the sack versus Ohio State. Then the big senior kind of went into a drought. He has picked it up recently.
And you mentioned at the top, Adele Duckett as Oklahoma quick huddles and goes for a quick play.
We keep it on the ground, try to go over that right side, down to about the 11-yard line. Pick up of 6 on the play. Again, it is Quentin Griffin.
As you to finish that point about Aaron Hunt, Adele Duckett, their other defensive end, has improved his play so much that now Hunt is not being double and triple teamed. That's opened up lanes for him to come and rush the passer and make big plays.
This is an impressive drive for the Oklahoma Sooners. You see the number, all-time leader in sacks for Aaron Hunt.
They broke Darren Howard's record, former of Kansas State.
Now Oklahoma goes for the I formation. Third down, we'll call it 2. Straight ahead running. Down to the 10-yard line. Jones. Going to be close. He won the big redshirt freshman out of Jenks.
Yeah, got to see where they spot the ball. Excellent tackling by Texas Tech. They met Kewan Jones in the hole, and ordinarily he moved the pile forward. That time it was a standoff. Let's see who fell into the right spot. And if he did, they'll have to measure it.
Well, it looks like
it's gonna be close.
Yeah, it looks like the sticks were inside the 10 for Bob Stoops. Looks like he might be just a shade close.
And I would not be surprised if he's short for Oklahoma to go for it here, even this early in the ball game. Bob Stoops wants a fast start tonight.
He
They'll have to make the decision.
Not a problem. You know, the last couple of games, Oklahoma's been about 56% on third down, 43% on the year, but that is something that Bob Stoops wanted to improve. And you can see what he's done in the red zone. That's also what he wanted to improve.
And what they were most disappointed about in red zone performance came in their only loss this year against Texas A&M. 4 times inside the 20, 3 field goals, and only 1 touchdown. They want that ratio flipped.
Ball sits just outside the 10. First and goal. They are in the red zone.
Jones in at tailback, the big thumper.
Smith in motion. They keep it on the ground. Straight ahead running. It's Jones to the end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma. He is 1 touchdown away from the freshman touchdown record. That's number 12 on the year.
Look at that, Mike Skinner, number 75. The hole was open so well that when he got into it, there was really no one for him to block. By the time Ryan Aycock, number 28 from Texas Tech, got to Kewan Jones, his momentum was already carrying him towards the end zone.
Boy, this redshirt freshman out of Jenks, Oklahoma, up around Tulsa, has been so impressive this year. But more impressive was that drive, and we can see Lawrence Flugents going off limping. We'll get an update on his condition. That would be a huge loss if the senior from Klein, Texas can't come back in.
Heart and soul of Texas Tech's defense. 174 tackles on the season coming into tonight.
Had 15 tackles versus Texas last week. Trey DeCarlo set for the extra point for Oklahoma. Oklahoma takes the opening kickoff. It takes less than 5 minutes, and they put the first 7 on the board. 11:15, and fans, you can vote for tonight's U.S. Army Players of the Game, powered by America Online. Simply log on to tbssuperstation.com or AOL keyword Big Play and cast your vote. Mike Leach has seen his team come from behind in a couple of games, most notably the Texas game and the Texas A&M game, so the 7-0 lead doesn't shake him up too much. Trey DeCarlo set to kick it away. Ivory McCann and Vincent Meeks back for Texas Tech. McCann usually has the green light. It is a short kick. Meeks up to the 20, and that is about as far as he is going to go. Now here's Ernie Johnson with an update on rivalry week.
All right, thank you very much, Ron. Washington State can wrap up the Pac-10 tonight with a win over Washington, but a shaky start as Jason Gesser is picked by Owen Biddle. That led to Cody Pickett's touchdown and put Washington on top 7-0. It's now 7-3 in the Apple Cup. Back to you.
We'll keep an eye on that. That obviously has implications, Ernie, on what Oklahoma does as far as the BCS standards. Oklahoma didn't get help today, though.
Coming after him.
Kingsbury looks right, has to run. Intended for Torian Henderson. Well, this Texas Tech offense, #1 pass offense in the country. Cliff has 7 NCAA and 13 Big 12 records. This young man is so calm, and we've seen him progress the last 3 years.
And it's been, the blossoming into a swan, but he did it a lot earlier than his senior year. His senior year has kind of been the cherry on top of the ice cream, because this guy has all the tools to be a great one.
Glover and Francis, the wide receivers, are going to keep it on the ground. Henderson gets hit as he crosses the 20 up to about the 24-yard line. As we take a look at the rest of the Texas Tech offense, the man right there, Torian Henderson, he can hurt you a number of ways, running, catching, leads the team in number of receptions. Wide receivers, Wes Welker, the natural, from right here in Oklahoma City, 14 receptions versus Texas. Center and guards, Rex Richards, the senior out of Midland, anchors the line. Casey Kick, the tackle. He's part of an offensive line that averages 318 pounds, second biggest in college football. Brandon Everidge is out for Oklahoma. Looks like he may have bumped his knee.
He's still in the ball game, but he's limping around. There he is right there in coverage. Let's see if that affects him on this play.
On 3rd and 6, Kingsbury from the shotgun. Throws it out of the flat. Henderson breaks one tackle to the 27-yard line. Takes a vicious shot. Lance Mitchell coming up from that middle linebacker spot to put the lumber to him.
Antonio Perkins helping clean up. The tackle was missed first. One thing that Oklahoma has to do tonight is tackle well in space, meaning one-on-one open field. See, Henderson makes the first guy miss. As Wandre Woolfolk, number 17. There's Mitchell, Perkins, they clean up there. Texas Tech has the punt on their first possession.
Antonio Perkins waiting for the Clinton Greathouse punt. Perkins back at his 30. He is extremely dangerous. 2 punt returns for a touchdown this year. A low kick with the wind, doesn't take advantage of it. Now they tried to kick it away from him, and they did, but they're giving Oklahoma good field position. Only 34 yards on the kick for Greathouse. I think he's just glad that Perkins didn't get his hands on it. We're going to take a break. The Sooners already on top by a touchdown. Home Depot. Along with Charles Davis, Craig Sager, and Aaron Andrews, Ron Poulin welcome you back to a crisp night here in Norman, Oklahoma. Absolutely perfect weather. The Sooners, 3 minutes and 45 seconds for a touchdown on their opening drive, and they've got it again.
And they're coming out spread formation shotgun as they did on the first series. Little motion.
Lugents is out for Texas Tech. Norman is in at the middle linebacker spot. Keep it on the ground. Griffin dumps the tackle. Look out! To the 30! To the 10! Touchback! Touchdown, Oklahoma! Second longest run of this year for Griffin.
Set up for him was the first series when Oklahoma came out spread formation through the football the first couple of plays. Let Texas Tech know that they're going to be a little wide open. They came out, showed the same look. This time ran it inside, a couple of key blocks, and then some great balance. And 62 yards later, you have 6 points. Watch, because Quentin Griffin's a little guy. He's not supposed to be able to run inside. Let's put that myth to rest right now. He runs inside, gets a couple of key blocks. Notice how he keeps his balance. Slips out of one tackle. Nice cut inside on Vincent Meeks, the freshman free safety, who was a running back a few weeks ago. Now watch how he uses his speed, tempers himself, goes right inside of Joselio Hansen. for the final couple of yards. And Quentin Griffin, yes, he can go long distance, folks. The Tulsa game was the season opener with well over 200 yards that game. Against Texas, over 200 yards in that game. This guy can move it.
7 of 8 of his longest runs in his career have come this year. He already has 79 yards rushing. He's going after 7 consecutive 100-yarders.
And what you have to like about Quentin Griffin is he plays big in big games.
Absolutely.
You see a number of guys rack up a lot of yards against the, some of the weaker teams on their schedule. Quentin Griffin, over 200 against Texas. That should tell you all you need to know about him right now. He's really taken apart the Big 12 this season.
Mike Leach is used to playing from behind, but I don't think this quickly. Ivory McCann from the 5, looking for some running room. Gets a couple of blocks, and he is upended hard at the 16-yard line.
That was Antoine Savage, who's the starting receiver.
Let's send it down to Craig Sager. Segs?
Well, the defensive team for Texas Tech is kind of in shock. They have regrouped along with their coach, Greg McMacklin, on the outside. And Lawrence Flugents got up off the bench where his ankle was retaped and said he's going back in. They asked if he wanted to have it retaped on the inside. He says, no, that would take too long. Just put some tape on the outside of my shoe. I got to go back in.
All right, Craig, we'll keep you updated on his condition. The swarm defense getting swarmed over by Oklahoma. 4 wide receivers set now for Kingsbury. Not getting much time. Has to dump it off, and it's incomplete. It's so hard to get pressure on Cliff Kingsbury. He only really drops back about 30% of the time. But the Sooners knew that if they can kind of play this zone blitz the way they do and the zone that we saw Colorado do, they felt that they could rattle Cliff Kingsbury.
And what they saw Colorado do was mix up the zone and man-to-man coverage and pick their spots about when they came after Cliff Kingsbury. The first play of the game, Oklahoma went after him. That time, rushed 4, dropped 7, took away all the passing lanes.
They're keeping it on the ground with Welker. He is tripped up as he gets up to the 18-yard line. Pickup of maybe 2. Andre Woolfolk coming up from that quarterback spot.
What we're seeing early out of Oklahoma is that they are very much focused in this ball game, getting the proper alignments, locked in on their keys, and they're tackling awfully well early. Remember, being able to play Texas Tech means a lot of one-on-one tackles in open space because of what they do. There's Mike Stoops, the co-defensive coordinator, and right now he and Brent Venables' plan is working to perfection.
Wes Welker in the slot on the right side. You can see what Texas Tech has done on 3rd down this year. Glover on the near side. Sooners showing blitz, and they bring 5. Pressure. Kingsbury dumps it out. Henderson can't get the handle on it. He saw Teddy Lehman just about to lower a little lumber on him.
The Oklahoma basketball team won their own tournament earlier today. Why? Because they speed people up when they play. Watch Torian Henderson. When he comes out to try and catch the ball, he's worried more about the defender coming. They've got Texas Tech's offense sped up faster than they want to go right now. They have to settle down, get back within themselves in order to try and make the plays that they're used to making.
There's Perkins again, and Texas Tech is such a tempo team on offense.
Right, and right now they're out of their rhythm because Oklahoma is playing so fast on defense. Right now the defense is dictating to the offense.
High snap. Greathouse did a nice job, and again, it kicks away from Perkins. And again, it goes to the sideline, and the fans throw out a little boos. They want to see Perkins return one. Greathouse got instructions over from Mike Leach. Don't you dare kick to him. You know, last week the EA Sports Pre-Play predicted Texas Tech would win in a close game. And in our fan poll, 58% of fans voted for Oklahoma to win over Texas Tech. Final tally this year, EA Sports, go back to the drawing board. You're 2-7. Fans, you're a little bit better at 4-5. Stay tuned to see who's correct this week.
See Mike Leach looking on with Cliff Kingsbury talking about their next series. But for Mike Leach, he needs Greg McMacklin, his defensive coordinator, in the defense to shut down Oklahoma. They can't play out of a much bigger hole.
On the ground with Griffin. This time much better. Lawrence Flugent back into the game. You can see him, number 51, the senior out of Klein, Texas, chasing him down. Woods also chasing him down.
Lawrence Flugent.
Keeping an eye on Flugents right now because he has to play sideline to sideline. Got a little hitch in his giddy up. We'll see if he's able to push off, to make the cuts he's going to have to make, because Oklahoma runners like to cut the ball back against the grain.
But you cannot allow Oklahoma to get 5 yards on first down. That keeps them on schedule.
And Tech has to take a timeout. Couldn't get their defense aligned correctly. They just ran a guy off the sideline to get to the official to take the timeout. Again, the pace and the tempo in favor of Oklahoma right now.
Now Mike Leach wants to get the troops together with Greg McMackin and talk about it. OU leads 14-0. Beveridge off the field, headed to the locker room. He's got the brace off the leg. We'll get an update on his condition if it becomes available to us. Oklahoma on 2nd and 5, already leading 14-0. Griffin, this time, he is going to be stacked up right at about the 38-yard line. Craig Sager, what do you have for us?
Well, during that last time out, Mike Leach grabbed the entire team together and gave his second pregame talk. The first one was a lot to do with X's and O's. This had to do with motivational. He was very positive with the team. He said, I have faith in you guys. We've come a long way. I trust you. I have faith. Now get out there and show me the team you expect you to play. Everything was positive because he knows if he loses them here, it could be a long day.
Absolutely, Craig. And, you know, we talked a couple of weeks ago about this team that they had an emotion problem early in the season. They weren't playing with that emotion. Greg McMackin telling us they've picked that up. They need to get that back tonight. From the shotgun on 3rd down, Hibble's pass almost picked off, intended for Antoine Savage. Ryan Aycock on the coverage, the junior out of Lubbock, Texas.
And that's the kind of play that'll bring the emotion back into it. Watch Aycock just sits on the slant route, breaks on the football there at the perfect time. Unfortunately for Texas Tech, as the ball went in the air for tip drill, it went over the head of number 11, Marcus Boyd, who was also on the field. But they did force a punt out of Oklahoma, exactly what Texas Tech needed on that defensive series.
It was a good defensive series by the Red Raiders. Ferguson set to kick it away to Welker. High spirally kick into the wind. Welker at the 10, no fair catch, and he's dropped after a return of about a body length. Ernie Johnson, tell us about Washington State.
Well, the Cougars, after giving up that early touchdown, have taken the lead on the strength of a Jermaine Green run around the left side. Washington State trying to close in on the Pac-10 title, now on top 10-7 early in the second. That's the latest, Steve.
All right, EJ. Rick Neuheisel trying to salvage the season in Washington. And Mike Price trying to keep this going at Washington State. Tech keeping it on the ground, and that quick Oklahoma defense just swarms all over Carlos Francis. Well, Mike Leach knows something about the Oklahoma speed on defense, but I have to think that this defense is as fast or faster than the one in 2000.
They have all the tools, and one of the reasons why is the guy in the middle, number 10, Lance Mitchell, who's a junior college transfer. Bob and Mike Stoops told us yesterday he's playing at a higher level than Torrance Marshall did on the 2000 championship team.
Kingsbury looking, scrambling, throwing into the flat, and just has to toss it away. If you don't think this Oklahoma defense is tough at home, this year during their home schedule, opponents have only been able to throw 2 touchdown passes. The reason? Watch the pressure.
And the pressure that's happening now is coming because Oklahoma is controlling the defensive front. That's allowing everyone to come free. And then the secondary is doing an excellent job covering downfield, which means Cliff Kingsbury has to scramble out and nowhere to go with the ball. So take a look at Bob Stoops helping coordinate the defense that his brother and Brent Venables have put together.
76,000 on their feet. The Sooners showing blitz. Here they come. Quick pass over the middle, complete up to the 22-yard line. It's Wes Welker. Antonio Perkins on the coverage. What a great success story for that young man, Wes Welker, from Heritage Hall High School here in Oklahoma City, just up the road at I-35. Small school, not heavily recruited. Tulsa, Colorado State showed a little bit of interest. Boy, did people miss the boat on this young man.
Yeah, about 80 receptions worth this year. That just took him over 1,000 yards on the season, his 81st reception. But what Oklahoma was looking for was to get the ball out of Kingsbury's hands quickly, which they did. Okay, he completed it, but they made the tackle on the spot, which means they forced another punt. Oklahoma's defense again winning the series.
Welker's catch about a yard short. Great Going to earn his letter tonight. A driving kick. Perkins at the 30. Turns on the Jets at the 40 to the 45. Finally brought down to the 48. Another excellent field position opportunity for the Sooners. 49 yards on the kick, 18 on the return. Tell you, they just continue to give Oklahoma this field position, Charles.
Now this field position is what has Texas Tech back on their heels. An excellent defensive series last time for Texas Tech. Got a big hit in. That will help them with the emotion. But when you continue to give up this kind of field position, you're putting your team in jeopardy with a good offensive team such as Oklahoma.
You're putting too much pressure on your defense, you think.
Yeah, this early in the ball game, they haven't had a chance to catch their breath yet.
In the flat to Griffin. And again, he's picking up yardage in chunks over the 45 down about the 43-yard line. Here's Aaron Andrews.
Okay, Ron, well, you and Charles were talking a little bit about Wes Welker. He's become the team's most versatile player. He's got quite a fan club. His own quarterback, Cliff Kingsbury, made a comment. He makes all these plays look like he should be drinking beer at a frat party, and his own coach referred to him as the big fat rooster from Bugs Bunny, you know, Foghorn Leghorn. He says if you give him a stack of boards to build a house, he'll put it together and give you a mansion.
Yeah, talk about Henry the Chicken Hawk. You know who always hung out with Foghorn Leghorn. Henry was one of those guys who got it done, and Wes Welker, you know, Coach Leach meant that as a compliment for Wes Welker.
Well, this time, Adel Duckett upends Kewan Jones. That'll bring up a third down. They lose a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 3 for the Sooners.
Again, another big 3rd down, and this is something we talked about with Greg McMackin, the defensive coordinator for Texas Tech. 3rd down efficiency early in the season. It wasn't there for Tech's defense. Over the last 8 games, they've only given up 31% on 3rd down. They need this big right now. You see Oklahoma on 3rd down. They've improved as the season has gone on.
Hibble rolling left, looking into the flat. Pass is complete. Short of the 1st down. Now he gets the 1st down. Trey Smith, arguably the best tight end in college football. Here is a young man that was a main target as far as receiving last year. This year the numbers are down, but he's become more of a complete player.
Take a look at our All-State replay as All-State gives us the camera view from the goalpost. Here's the problem. A missed tackle. Joselio Hansen, number 12, had him on the spot short of the 1st down. Oh, that's the difference in the game right now. Oklahoma's making those tackles, keeping them short of the 1st down. Texas Tech is not. That was a missed opportunity for the Red Raiders.
I want to thank Allstate for providing tonight's goalpost cam. You are in good hands with Allstate. Play action for Hibble. Going down deep. Pass. Intercepted. Ricky Saylor. His 2nd of the year, the senior from Tampa, Florida. That looked like somebody didn't read the pattern correctly. Hibble was thrown to an area and his receiver never got there.
Well, I think that he had the receiver, and I think the ball sailed on him to Ricky Saylor. You see? Right there. He's got a guy open, Mark Clayton. Ball's just overthrown. Ricky Saylor, the beneficiary. Texas Tech does not care that they truly didn't, quote-unquote, make the play, but they ended up with a great opportunity here. They shut down Oklahoma again. Nate Hibble knows that interception is on him. We see Greg McMackin exhorting his troops on the sidelines.
Texas Tech has got to take advantage of this opportunity. Down 14-0 in the 1st.
Trips to the wide side of the field, Ron.
Kingsbury pressured. Trying to make something. He's in big trouble. Throws it to no one.
And if they call intentional grounding, it's a safety.
Boy, he was not outside the tackles. It was close.
It appears he got away with one there. Take a look at the pressure, though. Here they come, right in the middle. Lance Mitchell, number 10, flushes him early. Kingsbury gets rid of it as he takes the big hit from Jonathan Jackson. Late in the play, ball was incomplete. Mike Leach, a little confused right now about what his team is doing. But one thing about Mike Leach, he knows his team has been in this spot before, and he will not let them panic.
Numbers on Kingsbury. 4 1st down attempts tonight. They have not gotten a yard on 1st down so far.
Looks like they're going to drop this time.
They throw the little screen. Oklahoma reads it. Henderson trying to get away. Penalty flag is thrown. This is so much a part of this Texas Tech offense. They throw so many different screens. Oklahoma very concerned about it coming into the game.
And what Oklahoma did on that one was drop 7 and rush 4, but they used their strong safety, Eric Bassey, number 13. And there's going to be a legal block by Texas Tech, but they used him to run up into where the ball was coming, into the area. He hugged up a receiver is the term. Went and found the receiver, hugged him up, and got there, and then ended up with a penalty. Forced the timing of the play to be chipped away yet again.
There's Steve Juszczyk, one of the excellent Big 12 officials, a veteran crew here tonight.
I think they'll set him back for field position because the defense is playing so well.
Illegal block in the back on the offense. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat, second down.
Boy, if you're Mike Leach, you have to be a little concerned right now. You've seen this Oklahoma pressure. Now you're get pushed back a little bit.
Right there that was it right there. And you see 75 holding on. See right there on Bassey, number 13. They really had their choice of 2 on that one, a block in the back as well as a hold. What Mike Leach has to find is a quick-hitting play that uses Oklahoma's speed against them. In other words, try and get flow one way, go back the other, but it has to be quick, and it has to be, they have to get there right now. They can't continue to hold on to the football on deep breaking patterns because it appears the rush is getting to Kingsbury early.
You can see Texas Tech 19 total yards. They average almost 504. That's 4th best in the country. Now they face 2nd down and 17. Oklahoma showing only a 3-man rush.
It's a lot of people that they're going to use with their speed to cover, and here they come with the blitz anyway.
Kingsbury over the middle, pass dropped. Should have been caught, intended for Mickey Peters, the junior out of Weatherford, Texas.
And when you have trouble making plays, when you have an opportunity to make one, you have to. Watch as the ball goes. Watch Peters. He's right in the middle, wide open. In other words, the coaches are going to say, you have to catch that one because we have to find a way to slow down their pressure. If you don't catch the ball, it just makes Oklahoma bolder on defense.
Now facing 3rd and 17, the Sooner defense can tee off on Kingsbury.
They're showing it. They may drop off on this one, and they do.
They only bring 3. Kingsbury still has some time. Plenty of time looking. Plenty of time. My goodness. Now he's in trouble, and he is going to be dropped. Jimmy Wilkerson. You would think a senior quarterback would know better and throw the football away. Kingsbury was not able to do it.
This is the ultimate coverage sack. How long does Cliff Kingsbury have to find someone? We saw the tail end there where Jimmy Wilkerson ends up getting the safety for Oklahoma. But the secondary coverage was incredible. Great call by Mike Stoops and Brent Venables. The play before, they showed dropping 7. Instead, they blitzed. This time, they showed blitz, dropped 7, and the coverage was all over everyone. Find someone open. Who's open? See Mitchell, number 10. He's covering someone right there. There's Bassey, 13. Who's open? There is no one open. Nowhere for Cliff Kingsbury to go with the football. And the time just kept ticking. Still no one open.
Here's Craig Sager.
Further on that secondary coverage, remember earlier, Ron, you mentioned that Brandon Everidge was going into the locker room. His right shoulder has been popping out several times the past couple of weeks. They popped it back in. He came over on the sidelines, and just before that play, he said, I got to get out there. He was one of those that was in on that great coverage after coming out of the locker room.
Boy, he's a trooper, Segs. But you know what you didn't see on that replay? I didn't see a whole lot of receivers coming back to the football.
Excellent point. People have to work their way back towards the quarterback and make themselves available for a pass. It's almost as if they become a little bit discouraged by the coverage that they've had early. You've got to continue to work your way free. Someone has to come open. What's the old adage? When a quarterback has that much time to throw the ball, he's going to find someone open because they can't cover that long.
That's right.
Oklahoma says that adage holds no water here in Norman.
That's right. Now we got Fagan and Perkins back. Grayhouse kick.
Bad punt.
Gets a nice roll. But again, Oklahoma with good field position. The big game of the day was Ohio State and Michigan. Here's Ernie with the highlights.
Thank you, Ron. In case somehow this escaped you, this is how Ohio State sewed up its game against Michigan. Will Allen with the pick on the last play of the game. Ohio State 14-9. They are Fiesta Bowl bound to play for the national championship. Will it be Miami if the Hurricanes win their last two? If not, who knows? Back to you, Ron.
You know, Ernie, I think all Big 12 coaches and SEC coaches right now are saying, wait a minute, you guys got to play the conference championship game. You don't get in that easy.
Yeah, they would love to see them all play conference championship games because that extra game always leaves you in jeopardy. You know, as we take a look now at the BCS, Miami won Thursday night against Pittsburgh. Ohio State sewed up their spot in the Fiesta Bowl. Miami has Syracuse at Syracuse this week and finishes up with Virginia Tech at home on December the 7th. They win both, they go. But otherwise, is it Washington State? Is it Oklahoma? If both of them win out, we'll see what the numbers spit out at us.
Well, the numbers right now are 16-0 Oklahoma in the first quarter. Trent Smith, the tight end, dancing around in the backfield. You keep it on the ground. Griffin gets into Red Raider territory down about the 47-yard line. Lamont Anderson, the senior out of Irving, Texas, with his first tackle of the night. Little Quentin Griffin, 5'7", 190 pounds, very shy guy, and it seems fitting that he's from Humble, Texas.
It is fitting. Has the same demeanor as a Barry Sanders, very shy and unretiring. And there goes Lawrence Flugents. And you see the wrap on his ankle. See his left ankle there? And they're going to go in and check him out. Hopefully they can get him back.
The pitch, Griffin, still on his feet. Hard to bring down, keeps the legs moving to the 40. He may be shy off the field, but he's a lion on the field. And we do have a penalty flag down.
Came in very late near the end of the play from deep in the secondary. Looked like the back judge threw it. Don't know if he detected something on the tackle. You know, we'll soon find out.
Well, Quentin Griffin, you can imagine how well he has played the last 6 games, all against Big 12 opponents, all plus 100 yards. How about 105 against Missouri? And like you said, he's got great balance. He's got low center of gravity. But more importantly, this guy never stops. The legs keep moving all the time.
No, and you're looking at 248 against Texas, who was ranked as high as 3rd this year. Iowa State was a top 10 team at one point. Colorado began the season in the top 5. Texas A&M was a top 20 team at one point. So he runs well against talented ball clubs.
6 consecutive, 9 for the season. Dibble throws a quick screen out to the far side to Curtis Fagan, the senior out of Houston, Texas. Big 12 honorable mention a couple of years in a row.
Making the stop was number 9.
How about the fact that the OU receiving record was set by Eddie Hinton back in 1968, stood up until this year. 4 Oklahoma Sooners have broken that record for receptions in a career.
It's a new style of football at Oklahoma. You know, going into tonight's game, look at these guys. All of them here. Eddie Hinton was the record holder at 114. Now there are 4 guys playing tonight who have broken his record. Remember, all those wishbone years cut down on the number of opportunities for receivers at Oklahoma.
I don't think Barry threw 114 times a season.
He threw 114 times in practice.
That's right. Dibble looking over the middle, wide open, the big tight end, Trent Smith, another Oklahoma first down. Second reception for Smith, and this is where Texas Tech had some problems early in the season. Passes over the middle. That's why they tried to put Meeks in there. Vincent Meeks, the free safety. Greg McMackin said, we were weak over the middle.
Yeah, you see Greg McMackin signaling, talking to his coaches in the press box. Vincent Meeks began the season as a running back. Now as a true freshman, he's holding down the free safety spot because they think with his athletic ability, he can make more plays over the middle. But remember, he's just a true freshman, only his 4th game as a safety.
After the pickup of 14, Oklahoma on the ground, nothing doing this time. Quentin Griffin is spun around by Jason Wesley.
What a nice play. That's exactly what Texas Tech needs. Big plays from guys who can make tackles on the spot. The option, and Jason Wesley, they were not able to block him. You saw Trent Smith, number 88, try to block him from outside in. He defeated him by getting up inside of Trent Smith before he could bring the block. Then he makes a tackle on the spot. Those are the type of plays that Tech needs.
Loss of 5 on the play. Sooners facing 2nd and 15. carries 5. Oklahoma picks it up. Pass incomplete. Boy, there were an awful lot of white jerseys around Quentin Griffin when he bobbled that.
I think that if you're going to critique Nate Hybl on that play, here's mine. Throw the ball on the ground at his feet at that point. The timing of the play was disrupted. He tried to make a forced throw inside to him after the screen really wasn't there, and you saw what happened. Hands got on the ball. That could have been disastrous for Oklahoma. Tipped up, Texas Tech brings it the other way. At that time, when the play's blown, throw it at his feet, take it incomplete, come back and do it again. He was fortunate there.
Oklahoma 75% on 3rd down, final 9 seconds of the quarter. 3 wides to the left. Tech brings 6. Hybl dumps it off to Smith. Dropped it. Well, they're saying it was a catch and a fumble. You don't see that very often from Trent Smith, the 6'5" senior out of Clinton, Oklahoma. Usually when you've got Clinton in your name, going left is successful. Not tonight. We've come to the end of quarter number 1. It was a good one for the Sooner offense and the Sooner defense. Oklahoma leads 16-0.
Get ready for 24 hours of the baddest, nastiest hombre around.
Go ahead, make my day.
A man-sized portion of you-know-who. 24 hours of Eastwood, all day Friday, only on TBS Superstation.
Of course, Clint kicked off our coverage tonight. Jeremy Levin putting that together. Jeremy, excellent job, my friend. If you can get Clint Eastwood in a teasing a football game, you're all right.
Yes, you are. Without him coming to beat you up.
That's right. Ferguson kicking with the win, and he booms this one into the end zone. No, it goes out.
See where they mark it.
Boy, they're running up. They'll be inside the 20, but they're still walking.
Didn't quite catch the corner.
No, 18 yards short after the 21-yard kick. Here's how it all started in the first quarter. Kewan Jones goes in from the 10. His 12th TD of the year. And then how about Quentin Griffin? 62 yards. That was impressive, Charles.
Yes, it was, because of the balance that he displayed. Sure, he got some blocks, but he's a very intelligent runner. And then a great play by Oklahoma's defense. Nowhere to go with the ball. And Jimmy Wilkerson with the safety. Oklahoma up 16-0 in the second quarter.
So far, this Texas Tech offense has not been able to get in any type of rhythm. Let's see if Kingsbury goes with shorter passes. Well, he starts out that way. Pass is complete to Wes Welker. Eric Bassey coming up from that strong safety spot to make the stop. Let's take a look at some of the numbers. 15 minutes already in the books. How about 174 yards for Oklahoma?
Well, you expect that Texas Tech won't run the ball much, but -1 is not going to get it done. They've got to run enough to take some of the pressure off of the passing plays. First
time they gained yardage on first down for Texas Tech. They picked up 6. Have not gotten a first down yet in the game. Throw it out on the flat. Carlos Francis scampers away close to the first down of the night for the Red Raiders. Carlos Francis, the junior out of Fort Worth, Texas, leading receiver on this team last year, had a great catch last week against Texas.
What you like most about the last 2 plays for Texas Tech? 2 positive plays in a row. You know, not a good play, and then something goes wrong. Now they need 1 more to get a first down and allow themselves to get their feet back under them a little bit.
Numbers for Cliff Kingsbury, 22 yards on 4 completions, 3rd down and 1. They keep it on the ground. They get the first down. Wes Welker, his second carry of the night. Welker, as we talked about, does it all. He's not afraid to run. He's not afraid to catch. He's not afraid to return kicks. And he doesn't mind kicking field goals or extra points if they ask him.
If they ask him, he actually warms up as a kicker. And they say he has range about 55 yards. He's attempted a field goal earlier this year. He may be one of their kickers next season. Also operates as the gunner on punt coverage.
Only the 3rd time in the last 26 years Texas Tech has reached 8 wins. They're looking for number 9, but they're in a 16-point hole tonight. Oklahoma blitzing. Kingsbury deep into the flat, incomplete. Nehemiah Glover, the intended receiver.
And what Oklahoma liked about that play is that where Cliff Kingsbury threw the ball was to the receiver farthest away in the defense. It's very similar to basketball. And partner, I know you covered a bunch of basketball. When you trap, And on defense, your rotation is there's always someone open, but you want that person to be the person farthest away, toughest to make the throw. That's a long throw for Cliff Kingsbury. Worked out perfectly for Oklahoma's defense.
Of course, Mike Leach designed the defense here at Oklahoma a few years ago when Josh Heupel was the quarterback. He knows what this crowd can do when they get into a game. 2nd and 10, little shovel pass. Henderson breaks a couple of tackles, and he is finally brought down at the 40-yard line. Jonathan Jackson, the fastest defensive lineman, sophomore out of Houston, coming up to make the stop. But that's how Texas Tech defeated the A&Ms, the Texases. That's the plays that they're successful in doing.
And that's why when you talk with a Mike Stoops or a Brent Venables, the defensive coordinators for Oklahoma, that they say you have to be judicious in how often you go after him, because Texas Tech has plenty of what they call blitz control plays. Shovel passes, screens, those types of plays to take you out of your rhythm and defeat the blitz. That one did.
1st and 10. OU blitzing from the edge, and Kingsbury's going to be brought down from behind. Dusty Dvorak, sophomore out of Lake Dallas, Texas. 2nd sack of the year, 2nd sack of the night for the Sooners.
Take a look at the All-State camera. Watch Texas Tech. They try and cross shallow in front of the linebackers, but they're having none of it. The secondary covering again downfield. Once more, Cliff Kingsbury can't get his short targets. Nowhere to go with the ball. Dusty Dvorak, number 94, with the sack.
Once again, we want to thank Allstate for providing tonight's goalpost cam. You are in good hands with Allstate. 2nd down and long. They try the reverse. Welker, running room, crosses the 35, takes a shot as he gets up to about the 47-yard line. Brandon Everidge, the junior out of Granger, Texas, on the stop. Here's an update with Washington State with EJ.
And Ron, Washington State has now scored 17 unanswered points. Jason Gesser to the air, 67 yards to Sammy Moore. That is 23 straight games with at least one touchdown pass for Gesser, rated number 6 in the nation. They're up by 10. Back to
you. Just couging it right now in Pullman.
It's not snowing there. 3rd down and 3 for Texas Tech. Kingsbury seeing the pocket collapse. Avoids one. Into the flat, incomplete, and again, the Sooner defense holds.
And on 2nd down, they ran a play that we talked about before. A play that uses their speed against them. On this play, watch Oklahoma in their coverage. What they have is a zone, 4 guys. 2 guys playing the hard corner, 2 guys playing the deep halves. Nowhere to go with the ball because they have linebackers that can cover the underneath routes. That speed is essential. And here's Texas Tech with the first big play of the game, or the first big move, going for it on 4th down in their own territory.
Well, they're 69% on the year. They've tried it 35 times. They've made 24.
And they will come after him here.
Kingsbury will burn the 2nd time out, trying to draw Oklahoma offsides. They didn't buy it. Mike Leach trying to pull the rabbit out of his hat. 11:46 left in the half. His team trails. Johnson presented by Gatorade at 7 o'clock. Followed by exclusive NBA coverage. In Game 1, the hottest team in the NBA, the Dallas Mavericks, take on the Pacers of Indiana. And in Game 2, it's the Nets of New Jersey traveling to play the LA Clippers. And, of course, the evening wraps up with Inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai. Now, they first had the little swinging gate set up, but instead they go ahead and kick it away. And Texas Tech bench had to duck. That was coming right at them. And again, the Sooners with excellent field position. 12 yards on the kick. Big Play Saturday is presented by... I'm joined by Charles Davis, Craig Sager, Aaron Andrews. I'm Ron Thulin. The Oklahoma Sooners and Nate Hibble's offense have been effective thus far tonight. 16-0. The winner plays the Big 12 championship game December 7th at Reliance Stadium in Houston, Texas, against the Buffaloes of Colorado. Griffin keeps the feet moving again, and again Oklahoma picking up big chunks of yardage on 1st down. How about that? December 7th, the Buffs. They would love a rematch with the Oklahoma Sooners.
They discussed that no sooner than the clock hit 0 here in Norman earlier this year. Felt as if they caused many of the mistakes that beat them that were their own. They didn't feel as if Oklahoma took it to them. Bob Stoops says you don't get mulligans in this league, but guess what? They just might. And if so, it will be a heck of a game.
2nd down and 6. Hibble into the flat up to the 50, down to the 49-yard line. Pass is complete to Will Peoples. Well, let's take a look at this week's Jack Daniels original Hard Cola flashback, and it is the Buffs against the Sooners. Hibble found Mark Clayton for a 12-yard touchdown run, and Oklahoma led 27-3. Chris Brown, the nation's leading rusher, did get over 100 yards in the game, but the key in this game, mistakes. The Sooners blocked the field goal. Colorado had 4 turnovers, and they win it by 16. It's Eddie Lehman, nice job. That's our Jack Daniels flashback.
And those 4 turnovers are exactly what Gary Barnett and his team pointed to, saying we shot ourselves in the foot.
Sooners keeping it on the ground with Kewan Jones. Now we're looking at Kewan Jones running the football, the redshirt freshman. Yes, he's an excellent running back, but more importantly, he has allowed Quentin Griffin to keep fresh legs this late in the season.
And not just because he comes in and runs the football and takes some carries from Quentin Griffin. They also use Kewan Jones more in pass protection. So that means Quentin Griffin isn't having to get leverage against 240 and 250-pound guys trying to rush the passer. As we see Ricky Saylor, the starting corner for Texas Tech, go out, and I see a hand. See the hand underneath his pads? Oftentimes it's trying to stabilize a shoulder. You know, again, I shouldn't be trying to play doctor here. Let's hope he's okay.
Well, Lawrence Flugent's already out. He went to the locker room. They were probably going to retape the ankle. We had Brandon Everidge of Oklahoma. They popped his shoulder back in. He came back in the lineup. Now we have Ricky Saylor, the senior from Tampa.
See how he's reaching underneath there?
Yep.
Trying to make sure that the joint's stable.
Now the Sooners on 1st and 10. On the ground with Quentin Griffin. Jeremy Woods coming up from that linebacker spot, the sophomore out of Andrews, Texas. See if we can see how Saylor got hurt.
There's Ricky Saylor, number 21, right there. Let's see what happens at the end of the play as he goes for the tackle. And as he comes down, Kewan Jones lands on top of his head and shoulder area. Well, he's standing up now, which is a good sign, showing some mobility with the arm. Let's hope they just had a temporary stinger or something, and he's going to be back out there in a couple of plays.
Sooners on 2nd and 6. This time they go for the left side. Griffin with a stiff arm, able to get close to the 30-yard line, and it'll be another Oklahoma 1st down. How about that? 7 straight 100-plus games for Quentin Griffin, and it's not even halftime.
Already got a full day's work in already, is that what you're saying?
I'm saying he deserves his letter.
And not only that, his running has set them up with the ability to throw the ball on 1st down because they feel as if they can come back and get 2 good running plays in after that. Don't be surprised to see Oklahoma take a shot downfield now. Wins in their favor as his field position.
Well, they go to a good thing again. They keep it on the ground, scampering out of bounds, and it's Quentin Griffin again.
Then again, why throw?
But let's think about this OU running game. 3 years ago, they were more like Texas Tech's offense. Now, because of a physical offensive line, they've evolved into more of a complete football team.
Yeah, and look at the guys leading out front. That's number 70, Kelvin Shoshone, and he just blots out the sun as he gets to the corner. Nice job by number 95, Rodney McKinney, running the play down from behind. But as you see how they've changed in just 3 years' time, as the run now predominant as opposed to the pass.
2nd down and short yardage, 2nd and 1. Jones breaks over the right side, gets inside the 15. Boy, they just keep chewing up the yardage on this Texas Tech defense. And Greg McMackin's scratching his head because this is not the way they've played recently.
No, it's not. And what's happening now is you're seeing the fruits of the labor that Oklahoma put in beginning in spring practice, where they had to get a new attitude with their offensive linemen who are used to pass blocking all the time. They got to get guys firing out and hitting people in order to run the football. That came with the addition of Kevin Wilson as the new run game coordinator and offensive line coach from Northwestern, and his guys relish hitting people now.
Kewan Jones straight ahead, not much going on there. Rodney McKinney, senior out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, who's really stepped up recently, is in on the stop. And don't forget, we haven't even mentioned Ronaldo Works. I mean, they've got this 1-2-3 punch in the backfield.
And Works weighs over 200 pounds, and he's the scat back. Kewan Jones doesn't even weigh 190, and he's the hammer.
That's right.
A little bit of a role reversal, but it works very well. You see Ronaldo works. Didn't we run into him yesterday?
Yes,
Grab a little bit of lunch?
He was throwing down some food across the street with us.
Very nice young man.
Griffin around the left side. He can see the goalpost, but he'll come up 5 yards short. One of the things that Kewan Jones has done, he's been able to give Quentin Griffin a little bit of rest, and he's taken some hits for him. He doesn't mind it.
When I get in there, when it comes short yardage time, he has a lot of confidence in me that I'm going to get the first down or, get it in the touchdown. So we just work hard on, on doing whatever we have to do as, backup running backs just to help Q out a lot, knowing that, defense is going to be keying on him. And when we get our opportunity to get in there to try to make big plays.
Well, Oklahoma smelling a little blood right now because facing 3rd down and 2 from the 6, they're going to call the timeout and talk about it.
And what I found interesting about this drive is that they had the opportunity, wind at their back, excellent field position, were running the ball well to put the ball in the air and go for the quick strike. But you see Kevin Wilson, you just saw him pop out there. Wes Sims, number 60, is blocking him out. He's the offensive line coach and the run game coordinator, came from Northwestern, and gave this team the attitude that they have. They can run the football, that they like being physical. They enjoy that. As Bob Stoops likes to say, we run the ball now when we want to.
That's right.
As opposed to someone dictating when we run the ball. And that's what they're enjoying about this drive. I get the feeling that Chuck Long, the offensive coordinator, is saying, you know something? You guys deserve this one. That's him in the hat right there. That's Kevin Wilson. But I think that Chuck Long's saying, you know something, big guys? You deserve this. Let's keep mashing, and let's see if we can go downfield without throwing a pass and establish a dominance in this ball game. And that's exactly what they're looking to do right there. And this guy is a big reason why, Kevin Wilson.
Sooners 3rd down and 2 from the 6. 7:53 to play in the half. Kewan Jones reaching forward. That should be good enough for the first down. Fans, do you have a question for us? Simply send an email and we'll select one question to answer a little bit later on in the game. All you have to do, send the question to tbsbigplay@aol.com. That's tbsbigplay@aol.com. And don't forget to include your name and where you are from. Well, now the Sooners with 1st and goal. Ball is on the 3-yard line.
Remember I predicted a pass before? I think they just run it, trying to get it in.
11th play of the drive. To the goal line. Touchdown, Oklahoma. Kewan Jones. Kewan Jones, 13 rushing touchdowns on the year, tied the freshman record for touchdowns, held by Marcus Dupree and Buddy Lee. His 2nd of the evening.
Any touchdown that you give up hurts, but when a team drives it down the field without throwing a pass, as a penalty flag comes down after the kick.
But Kewan Jones going over that left side, stretching over, and the Sooners lead it. So Kevin Wilson's offensive line has done the job. They're playing with a lot of physicality. We'll be back. Left in the first half. Mike Leach's team 5-1 at home. They average 49 points, but when they are away from SBC Jones Stadium in Lubbock, they're only 3-3, and they average only 29 points. Have not been able to put up those big numbers away from Lubbock. Right now, they need any kind of numbers. Kuva's kick short at the 15-yard line. Taken by Meeks. Gets up to the 30-yard line, spun down, good return.
It was returned by Vincent Meeks to the 30-yard line.
TBS Big Play Saturday is brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, you look at that Oklahoma drive, 11 plays, they threw only 1 pass, which tells you they've kept the ball away from Cliff Kingsbury. They used up some clock.
And now if you're Oklahoma with defense, you can just rush your 4 guys if you want, drop into coverage. You're in good shape here.
They've got 10 on the line of scrimmage. Kingsbury looking, pass incomplete at the 38-yard line. Wes Welker, the intended receiver. But what we saw there was perfect example of what Mike Stoops and Brent Venables wanted to do. Texas Tech comes to the line, Oklahoma in one coverage, and all of a sudden they start shifting. They bluffed just long enough.
And moved to where they wanted to be. And you see Brent Venables, that's Venables right here, okay? To his left, or to his right, our left, that'd be Mike Stoops, the co-defensive coordinators.
Only one time on first down has Texas Tech gotten positive yards. Kingsbury's pass complete up to the 39-yard line. Big time hit by Lance Mitchell on Torian Henderson.
Did you notice on that play, the play was completed, and Torian Henderson had the ball, and he's a running back. Lance Mitchell, number 10, is a linebacker, but they're not allowing Texas Tech to get turned upfield and run away from a play. They're still running parallel, and if they're running parallel, they're getting run down.
See the scores on the bottom of your screen. Ernie will be with us at halftime, the Chili's halftime report. Give you an update on all of the numbers. Left side, Torian Henderson getting up to the 40-yard line. Lance Mitchell and Corey Klein on the stop. Here's exactly what you were talking about on that previous play.
Watch Lance Mitchell, number 10. He drops into coverage and sees Torian Henderson cross his face in coverage. Henderson makes the catch, but notice he never is able to get his shoulders turned towards us. See? And then this time, now Lance Mitchell goes into run support. And he gets some help on the inside from number 93, Corey Klein, and they combine on the tackle. Lance Mitchell can drop into coverage.
That's
he
right.
can come up and strike you in the run game. We saw good linebackers last week from USC when we were in Los Angeles. Lance Mitchell is faster than all of them. So talk about a great player.
Ooh, that's called a gnat's eyelash. First down, Texas Tech.
You remember how impressed I was with USC's linebackers because of their ability to cover downfield in their cover two. The middle linebacker covering the middle, taking away passing lanes. Lance Mitchell does that better than anyone I've seen this year.
It's like a couple of symphony conductors. Look at all. How can you read all this?
They got three guys. Remember, Bob Stoops made his reputation as a defensive coordinator.
That's right.
Three guys conducting the orchestra of the Oklahoma defense.
That's confusing. Four-man rush. Kingsbury throws underneath the coverage. Pass is complete, and again, Lance Mitchell is there along with Pasha Jackson. Clay McGuire, the sophomore out of Crane, Texas, from that H-back spot.
Did you say Pasha Jackson got on the field?
He actually got in the field.
Doesn't get on very often. If we take a look at these linebackers, two juniors. Now, Teddy Lehman is a Butkus Award finalist. 90 tackles this year. Mainly, not because he's not a great player, but he had the reputation coming in. Lance Mitchell, junior college transfer, he'll be up for it next year also, along with Teddy Lehman.
The reason Jackson doesn't play a lot, not against passing teams. They put an extra DB in there. Here comes Oklahoma rushing 6 again. Kingsbury flips it out. Penalty flag is thrown. Torian Henderson, the intended receiver, but Jimmy Wilkerson was right there.
Texas Tech's hoping they get a holding call against Oklahoma. They totally smothered that play. Mike Leach and his offensive staff looking on, hoping a call goes in their direction. I think that's what they're going to get.
Yes, they are. And if you're down 23-0, you'll take anything at this point.
We'll take anything. Take a look. Now, here's Mitchell right here, number 10. See him? See how he's got to get him? But the interesting part is the guy he's holding was a lineman.
You're supposed to hold the receivers, not the big-bellied guys.
He's holding the lineman, and I'm not sure you can call holding when you're locked up with a lineman like that. But, it worked out. And as you said, Texas Tech's not going to give it back.
But Texas Tech is in Oklahoma territory. First time tonight they've been there. Five-man rush from the backside. Kingsbury still dumps it off. Another Texas Tech first round, Torian Henderson. Inside the 35, down to the 33-yard line.
And give credit to Texas Tech's offensive line on that play, because this time what you're going to see is a blitz coming from that side with Oklahoma. Now let's watch Texas Tech's offensive line pick it up, and then underneath hits the running back. There's Torian Henderson right there catching the ball. No one around him. Now just keep going upfield. Don't run parallel. Keep getting upfield.
90 receptions on the year now for Torian Henderson. On 1st and 10, Kingsbury, short pass over the middle, complete. This is more vintage Texas Tech.
Yeah, there's a word you used earlier, tempo, rhythm. All right, two different words you used earlier. Now that's starting to happen for Texas Tech. Cliff Kingsbury's getting the ball, getting himself set, having time to find receivers, and he's not having to take a lot of time because they're using their quick breaking routes. That time it was just double cross on the shallow part, and on this drive, Cliff Kingsbury, those are the numbers candidate.
Leads the NCAA in passing yards and touchdowns. The most prolific passer in not only Texas Tech history, but Big 12 history. Oklahoma bringing a bundle. Kingsbury runs away from it. Trying to get away from it. Throwing it up for grabs, and that'll be out of bounds. He just cannot get away from that pressure.
Take a look at our all-22. I believe this is Wes Welker here. He's going to come open here, but Cliff Kingsbury can't find him because of the pressure from Oklahoma. See Welker? Wide open.
Right.
But as Kingsbury scrambles here, he can't find him. Takes too much time. Guy farthest away. See? He's wide open right there. Derek Strait has to come back and find him, but it was too late for Kingsbury to get the ball to him.
Well, if there's a big third down play in the opening half, this is it for Texas Tech. They need to sustain this drive.
This could be 4-down territory for them. You know, they could be thinking 2 plays here, down 23-0.
Now Cliff Kingsbury wants to burn the timeout, the final one of the half. They trailed 23-0. They face 3rd and 6. Mike Leach is going to talk about it. To you by Home Depot. 3rd down and 6. One of Texas Tech's keys, don't squander opportunities. They have one now.
Really think it's 4-down territory for Tech.
Oh, you switching up defenses. Here they come again. Kingsbury scrambling and is going to be dropped by Brandon Everidge. Well, I think you're right. They're going to have to go for it. Why not?
Yeah, and I felt that if they didn't get a big sack, that they would definitely be 4-down territory. I think even now, Mike Leach realizes a field goal, even if you were able to successfully complete it, and it would be a long one here, it really doesn't give you much of a moral lift.
Right.
You know, I mean, at this point, it's like, hey, we've got to have some big points. And talk about pressure. 7 hurries, hit 5 times, 3 sacks already in the first half. He usually only takes about 2 sacks per ball game.
Well, they lost 5 on the play, so it's 4th down and 11. Going into the wind. Kingsbury pressure. Steps up in the pocket. He's running himself in big trouble. That prayer will not be answered. Dan Cody is the one who is putting pressure on him, a sophomore out of Ada, Oklahoma. And that Mike Leach offense has been stymied tonight.
And again, he has time to find people. Yes, he's flushed by Cody, but still able to have time to find them now. Now is where he has major trouble because he's in full retreat. And when you've got Lehman, Jonathan Jackson coming after you, you really don't have much chance to be successful throwing off of your back foot and away and all the way across field. Another great series by Oklahoma's defense.
Now you've got to hope, if you're Mike Leach, you've got to hope that Oklahoma doesn't take this 3-15 and just do what they've been doing the whole game. Put more points on the board. Fagan, around the left side, he scampers out of bounds. Not before he crosses the 40 up to about the 44-yard line, about 2 yards short of the first down.
Curtis happy with that carry. Came into the game with 2 rushes for only 1 yard. Some positive yardage for him. Adds to the average just a tad as Bob Stoops looks on as his offense takes over.
Well, fans, let's check out our instant poll results. Who will win tonight's game? 33% of you are Texas Tech fans. The other 67% are Oklahoma fans. I guess. I would think.
One would think.
Hold everything. Quinton's going to have to hold it up just a little bit with 3:06 left in the half. Now this Oklahoma team under Mike Stoops.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
He's been able to run the football tonight. The touchdowns have come on the ground.
Kewan Jones in short yardage situation. Quentin Griffin with the big run. I believe this one went for 62 yards. Great bounce. And look at the patience as a runner. Ends up making the big move at the end. Kewan Jones with another short yardage touchdown. That culminated an 11-play drive, 10 of which were runs.
That's right. 2nd down and 6. From the shotgun, they're just going to keep it on the ground with Griffin again.
Handoff goes to Quentin.
Mont Anderson, number 71. I just saw him pound the turf in frustration for Texas Tech. Why? He had a one-on-one open field tackle with Quentin Griffin and missed it at the point of attack. And that's kind of been the story for the night for Texas Tech. They're not getting the Oklahoma guys on the ground on the first tackle, on the first contact. We've seen one great play, Jason Wesley.
That's right. That's
getting inside of Trent Smith's block. The rest of it seems that they've missed most of their tackles early.
Sooners just keeping it on the ground, and they'll get the first down. Kewan Jones with 2.5 to play in the first half. Just a reminder to stick around for our Chili's halftime report. Ernie's at the Big Game House, catching you up on all of today's action, including that great game between Michigan and Ohio State. There's going to be a few guys in the hot tub tomorrow morning after that game. And of course, Washington State, the Apple Cup going on right now up in the state of Washington. PJ's standing by.
Have a woozy player, Jason Wesley, who we just talked about making a big play earlier for Texas Tech, made the tackle on the last play, and I saw him stay down for a little bit. Then he popped up and kind of wobbled around in the Tech. And here's something I really liked. The Oklahoma trainers were on the spot immediately. Play happened near their sideline. We're right there to help the young man and steady him until the Texas Tech trainers could get there.
It looks like he ducked his head on the tackle, and they're going to hold him up because
he's a little woozy. He might have taken a knee to the head, or something might have made him a little bit dingy. But I loved Oklahoma's bench's reaction. Great job by their training staff helping out the opponent.
Clock running, 2:20 to play in the half. Griffin again. Oklahoma just continues to eat up the clock and eat up the yards. Now let's take a look at the Big 12 past champions in the North and the South, and you can see the North has been owned by Nebraska and Kansas State early on, but Colorado the last 2 years. How about Oklahoma? Only one South title, coming in 2000.
And that would be a surprise if you look at things historically, but you have to remember that was coming off of the John Blake regime and into Bob Stoops and how down Oklahoma was, and what a significant job Stoops has done in putting it all back together in such a short time.
That's exactly right.
I mean, his program was way down. You mentioned at the top of the game that every game has been sold out at home under Bob Stoops. That was not the case prior to his arrival.
Well, when you have 35 bowl appearances, 7 national championships, you go 11-2. It's back to the old Barry Switzer days. It's perceived as a down year to the Oklahoma faithful. They don't want 11-2 anymore.
And take a look at this. You see 94-98 when the OU program was down, 118-1. But ever since the big guys gotten here, 12-2. Pretty nice job.
This is the 4th-ranked team they've played this year. Hibble throws it away. He did have Trent Smith in the pattern. Jeremy Woods putting on the pressure. Woods slow to get up, and he looks like he's nursing the left side. He's got a hitch too, doesn't he?
Yeah, and you know what you're seeing the effects of? That last drive, 11 plays, 10 rushes. You're seeing the effects of that, the physical play of the offensive line. This is what Oklahoma was not getting in the last few years. They were winning ball games, but they weren't wearing teams down. So they were always in dogfights as the game went on. This is something they like to see. They feel like they're in control right now, and they're the bully of the block.
Walker standing back at his 10. Driving kick. Walker's just going to let this go, but it takes a 90-degree bounce to the left. And it'll be marked out at about the 3.5-yard line. 46 yards on the punt. Blake Ferguson, a great job kicking the football.
A 47-yard punt for Ferguson.
Well, Teddy Lehman knows what Mike and Bob Stoops have meant to this program, especially his head coach.
His intensity, his confidence, everything just rubs off on the team. And, whenever we're in a tough game, a tight game, he's on the sideline. It's like he knows what's going to happen. He knows we're going to win. So it rubs off on everyone that, it's going to be all right. We just keep playing our ball, keep playing tough, and do what we're supposed to do, then we'll win.
I'm a firm believer that teams take the personality of their coach on many, many times. This team has done that with Bob Stoops. He comes from a coaching family, great work ethic, and the team has taken that on. Kingsbury into the flat, incomplete. Here's Aaron Andrews.
Well, Ron, not only has Stoops done an amazing job with this program, but he's also created a family atmosphere within his coaching staff. Now, the staff is estimated to have a little over 30 children within their family, which is why the staff does things a little differently. The family night on Wednesday, they have dinner and allow the kids to run around the hallways of the football offices. They also allow their wives to go on any away trips, and they allow their staff to drop off their kids in the morning before heading to the football office.
I tell you, and his brother's got a new baby boy himself. Mike had a baby boy, his wife Nicole, so he knows something about little kids.
Well, Clayton's already watching game film with the old man.
Brandon Shelby's there to stack up Torian Henderson.
And right now, if you're Texas Tech, the last thing you want to do is let the clock run out because you feel like you're giving up. But at the same time, you're kind of hoping it does. But Oklahoma's not letting it. They took the time out there because they're hoping to get the ball back on a punt.
And because Texas Tech's going to be kicking into a very stiff wind. Well, don't miss the drama of the PGA Grand Slam of Golf on TNT as four-time defending champion Tiger Woods takes on Rich Beem, Justin Leonard, and Davis Love III. Catch all the action starting on Tuesday, November the 26th, only on TNT. Coming to you from beautiful Hawaii. We talk about the coaching family. His dad was a coach, and father's doing a pretty good job on Larry Coker's staff, huh?
Yeah, we saw him on Thursday night with his Miami Hurricanes secondary, coaching the defensive backs. Remember, what was the big question mark about Miami coming into this season? How their young secondary would play with all those first-round draft picks gone. And dare we say it? They're playing pretty darn well already. You know, a lot of sophomores and freshmen in the lineup. So you mentioned the Stoops coaching family. Dad Stoops, Mom Stoops, they've spawned some pretty darn good guys.
Great people along with great coaches. A little side note to that. Yeah. Now Texas Tech 3rd and 11. The ball is on the 3-yard line.
And let's talk strategy here if Oklahoma holds them, because they'll want another timeout and make Texas Tech punt from deep in their end zone unless Cliff Kingsbury can get a first down here.
Sooners bring 4. Kingsbury sees pressure. Penalty flag is thrown, throws it away, almost intercepted. Brandon Shelby looks like he was being held, and that's going to be a safety if it is.
If it's holding in the end zone, they can call the safety here. Let's see if they do.
Second safety of the night if it is.
Holding on the offense, results in a safety.
And it is. Well, that reaction by Mike Leach tells it all.
A lot of frustration at this point. This is not how his offense is supposed to work. Take a look at Cliff Kingsbury. This is Kingsbury in the shotgun formation. Look to the right of your screen. Number 65. That's Casey Keck, the offensive tackle. He's caught with he was spotted holding as Cliff Kingsbury's in the end zone. Automatic safety, which means now Texas Tech must punt again or kick off from the 20-yard line. Oklahoma will get the ball one more time before the half ends in great field position. Let's see how this thing turns out.
That's frustration on the part of Coach Leach.
Without a doubt. And you can understand why. All that great game planning has gone awry because the athletes of Oklahoma and their game plan have proven superior to this point.
Well, Bob Stoops telling us that they did not have a hangover after that Texas A&M loss. A lot of players said it was an embarrassment. They shook it off right away. They knew they still had a lot to play for. On the other hand, Mike Leach was concerned. They've had some very emotional wins this year, especially over Texas last week, and we asked him, are you concerned about that? There was so much hoopla about that. He goes, of course I was. We tried to focus on more details this week.
And we mentioned it at the top of the program. That was the first win for a Texas Tech football team over a top 5 ranked opponent in school history. So, and when you couple it with that they beat the University of Texas, one of their bitter rivals, you can imagine the backslapping and the praise that went on all week in Lubbock. And as a player, you try to resist it, but it sure feels good, and sometimes it takes your edge away.
Instead of punting it this time, they're going to kick it. Fagan Up over the 40 to about the 44-yard line. The Sooners will have 28 seconds to work with. Well, Texas Tech is the best team in Texas, and I think that would include the Cowboys and the Texans. Here's who they've beaten this year. How about SMU? They took care of the Baylor Bears. They took care of A&M, and of course, they also took care of the Longhorns of Texas.
Yeah, beat SMU on the road, beat A&M and College Station in an overtime thriller. Texas at home last week, and of course, beating Baylor. And, you know, they're proudly wearing the Texas State Champs T-shirts around. I'm just surprised, no Hardin Simmons?
No Hardin,
you know?
No Rice.
No Rice. Where's Clyde Bulldog Turner from Hardin Simmons?
Somebody call up Kenny Hatfield. See if we can get a matchup here.
Houston, they didn't get a piece of it.
Dana Dimel needs a piece of this. Over the middle, incomplete. My goodness, should have been intercepted.
And that's indicative of the first half for Texas Tech, not making very many plays when the opportunity presents itself. If you're Ryan Aycock, how do you miss this one? Maybe Curtis Fagan's shadow in front of him. See right there? Probably took a little concentration away as Fagan crossed in front of him. But that should have been Ryan Aycock's second interception of the year, and could have put the end of things in the first half and really given Texas Tech one more shot before the half was over.
Well, Cliff Kingsbury, don't turn off the dials yet, because he has been able to be the architect of comebacks. He had 6 while he was in high school with the New Braunfels Unicorns. This time it's Quentin Griffin as we go inside of 20 seconds to play in the half, and Oklahoma wants more. They have 1 timeout remaining.
Going with the quick hurry up. They get the first down, so the clock has to stop and get the chain set. They have to be ready to go as soon as the ball's whistled in.
And he'll spike the football.
Only lost 2 seconds there. That's a good job by Oklahoma in their 2-minute drill. Well coached.
Well, you talk about the 2-minute drill. That's a drill that really hasn't changed over the season for Oklahoma, has it?
No. When we talked with Chuck Long, the offensive coordinator, he mentioned that Ernie Zampese, one of the great offensive minds in the NFL, and one of his coaches when he played in the NFL, taught him that in your 2-minute drill, the best thing to do is to tune it up and have only about 10 plays. As we look at the scoring drives, less than 2 minutes under Bob Stoops, they will strike you. But what they have is about 10 plays, and it's the same 10 plays in their 2-minute drill each and every week, as opposed to changing them all the time. Just keep getting them tuned up every time they go.
Good strategy.
Yeah, you know, it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? The beauty is the simplicity.
Repetition.
Right? Ball start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Just a reminder, our Chili's halftime reporter, Ernie Johnson, standing by. He'll update you on all the scores and highlights from Rivals Week. How about Carson Palmer at USC today against UCLA? My goodness.
Don't have the final numbers, but we saw a bunch of big plays. I believe at least 4 touchdown passes today, and didn't play most of the fourth quarter. Huge day for him. And he's at USC.
And USC.
Huge win over the Bruins.
Second down and 15 for the Sooners. Final 15 seconds. Hibble steps up in the pocket, throws over the middle. They're going to call it complete. No. Hit the ground. Antoine Savage could not scoop it out.
He gave it a good appearance, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
But those officials, I will say this, they catch so much criticism all the time. But this is a group that is hustling and was on the spot. Let's take a look. All right, look at it from the end zone. Okay, it's coming right at you. Antoine Savage running the crossing route. See, underneath him. Excellent call. Ball hit him, bounced on the ground, bounced back up to him. The officials were on the spot. Give them the credit.
So were our camera guys. Good job, gentlemen. So the Sooners now with 9 seconds. 3rd and 15. That's a moot point at this point.
Yeah, 3 receivers here. Probably going to fling it downfield and try and get something, maybe a pass interference.
Hibble throws into the flat. Passes incomplete. Stretching out of bounds, it's Will Peoples. We have time for one more play.
That play was designed to get them hopefully in field goal range, and with the wind behind them, take a shot at a long field goal attempt at the buzzer. Now you just have to throw the ball down and hope just throw it towards the end zone. Hope you get a big play on the last play of the half. Clearly out of field goal range at this point.
And I think that shows respect for that Texas Tech offense. You need to put a lot of points on the board, because you know these guys can hang, as Barry Switzer would say, half 100 on you real quick.
Yeah, and they have no problems with coming back. They're not really daunted, are they?
This will be the longest 4 seconds in the history of football.
Timeout. Oklahoma.
Well, the Sooners are going to take a timeout. And now both teams are out of timeouts.
Well, they don't carry over.
That's right. You don't get green stamps.
So you might as well design the exact play you want on the sideline and try and get something before you go into the half.
Well, this telecast is a copyrighted presentation of the University of Oklahoma, a member of the Big 12 Conference. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Oklahoma or the Big 12 Conference. Now, this Texas Tech team came in riding a 3-game win streak, their highest ranking since 1998, the first time they've been ranked since 1998. They had high expectations, but when Oklahoma took the opening drive, 3:45 it took them to score, they set the tempo for this game, and they've really never looked back. Texas Tech has not been able to get into the flow.
And I think that the opening drive was one thing, but Texas Tech had been there before. They were down 14-0 last week against Texas, but Oklahoma's defense came right out and stuffed them, and Tech's offense, used to eating up yards, used to eating up a little bit of time, used to, getting downfield, they have not gotten it done. Look at what they've done. Just 12 yards. Hey, look at that, 10 rushing yards.
That's right.
I mean, that's just not going to get it done.
No, it isn't.
It's going to be 10 rushes, 2 yards total.
Last play of the half. Hybl throws it the length of the field. Tipped up, almost caught by the Sooners. Peoples had a shot at it. Could not put the gloves, and Texas Tech will head to the locker room. A disappointing 30 minutes, but this was close, Charles.
And it's exactly what you're taught, and what you don't want to happen if you're Texas Tech. If you go up for the ball, you have to bat it down or come down with it.
Here's Craig Sager with Bob Stoops.
Well, Coach, obviously Texas Tech's a good come-from-behind team. How important was it to try to get more points on the board?
Come from behind team or not, isn't that what you're supposed to do on offense? Try and get more points on the board. So that's all we were trying to do.
But the way
we plan on playing the second half also.
The way your defense is playing, they had 7 possessions, only 3 first downs. You have 3 sacks, 2 safeties. Why have they been so successful against Texas Tech?
We're executing. We're getting good pressure to the quarterback, and we're covering well, tackling well. Hopefully that's what we're after the second half. We'll need to.
Thanks a lot. Tremendous defense by OU. 25-0, 2 safeties. They have the lead over Texas Tech. Now let's go to EJ and the Big Game House.
And the Raiders straight ahead. Tom Ron. Oklahoma is holding this Red Raider offense that averages over 500 yards. They had only 64 in the first half. You go back to first down, they've had under 20 yards on 12 first down plays. They're stopping them from the get-go.
Yeah, and Oklahoma's defense now has imposed its will on this football game. Witness 2 safeties. The statistics that you cited. The Oklahoma offense been very, very functional, and they've imposed their will on Tech's defense. Witness an 11-play drive, 10 runs that culminated in a strong touchdown run. Right now, Oklahoma dominating all aspects of this ball game.
Now for Texas Tech, though, at least you'll get the ball to start the second half. Fumbling at about the 12-yard line, and Oklahoma's defense picks up where they left off. This time the kickoff coverage. Let's take a look at some of the numbers from the first 30 minutes of play. That tells the whole story right there. Cliff Kingsbury, only 62 yards throwing the football. They average almost 400.
And I said at the top of the show that the turnovers might be the key to the game. The only turnover Texas Tech has intercepted Oklahoma. So sometimes the statistics lie.
That's exactly right. Most people pick Texas Tech fourth in the Big 12 Conference this year in the South. Nobody expected them to be here tonight. They have earned the right to play for the South title, but they need a lot of points quickly. Henderson keeps his feet, and that is probably one of the very few times he's kept his shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage. Here's Craig Sager.
Well, if you're wondering what kind of speech Mike Leach gave his team, let me put it this way. It's a little bit of everything. There's a motivational speech and a critical speech. He ripped them and he massaged them. He said, you're sitting around, you're getting pushed around. The key is tempo and composure. He asked for the Big 12 South title, but there's a lot more at stake, including pride. Run.
Craig, I wonder if he broke any Dan McCarney clipboards, huh? Pass is incomplete, intended for Mickey Peters, was juggling it.
Second drop of the night for Mickey Peters, normally sure-handed. The last time our light shone on Texas Tech, Mickey Peters didn't get to play. It had a concussion. They suffered against Texas A&M. So he didn't play, and that was very unfortunate for Tech. It's a big part of their offense. He's got to catch the football, though.
Peters comes out. 3rd down and 3. The crowd getting back into it. Another sellout crowd here in Norman. Oklahoma brings 5. They come off the corner, and Kingsbury is going to be dropped. The 4th sack of the night, this time from Brandon Shelby, the sophomore out of Kansas City.
And this is where the total lack of a running game hurts you, because Oklahoma was not respecting that at all. They knew that they had to throw the football, so what they did was sit on every short route that Texas Tech could possibly run. They were going to let Cliff Kingsbury throw the ball deep and over their heads and try and make a play that way, but they weren't going to give up a 3-yard hitch route and let them get a 1st down. He had nowhere to go with the ball. Another sack for Oklahoma.
It put his block! Touchdown, Oklahoma! Peoples with a touchdown. Brandon Shelby with a block. Peoples the recipient, and the Sooners hang 6 more on the board.
Watch where Brandon Shelby goes for the block point. Excellent job, because he's well coached. He doesn't go right for the punter. He goes for the point. He knows how many steps that Greathouse takes, goes to that spot, blocks the ball, and Will Peoples, who we saw emerge this year when we were here for the South Florida game, adds another touchdown, this time on special teams.
First punt blocked on Clinton Greathouse this year. One more look at it again, Charles.
Yep. Right to the block point, 6 more points for the Oklahoma Sooners, and they're dominating this game in Norman.
First quarter, this took under 1.5. And now Texas Tech in the biggest hole they've been in this year with any hope of a comeback. How about 13 block kicks since Bob Stoops has been head coach here at Oklahoma. From the 10. And the Sooners doing a great job converging. You know, behind every great player is a great mom. Quentin Griffin is no exception. Here's Erin Andrews.
That's right. I'd like to introduce you to my very special guest, Miss Barbara Griffin. She made the 6-hour drive here from Texas to root her son on his senior night. He's had a terrific 4 years here at Oklahoma. Are you sad to see it come to an end?
Actually, I'm not, but I've enjoyed every 4 years, and this is foremost the best. I am so excited for him.
Now, we've got a little bit of dirt on Quentin. His coaches and his teammates say he's very shy. Reporters can't even get 4 words out of him for an interview. You know the real Quentin. Tell us, is he that shy?
No, Quentin is full of questions. It's question after question, with me anyway. Now, he might not say much to, you know, his teammates or the media, but he really opens up to me. He's not that shy.
It's been rumored his mentor, his idol, Barry Sanders, you know a little bit about his admiration for him.
Well, Barry Sanders is one of his favorite players, if not his favorite. He has posters, T-shirts. He even goes on the internet to print pictures or whatever he can of Barry. So that's his favorite player, I think.
Ms. Griffin, thanks so much. Guys, back up to you.
Now, Foy Munlin can't get the handle on it. Quentin Griffin still has some football to be played. Mom, he's still got a couple more games to have the opportunity to watch him. He's a great young man, though.
Yes, he is, and she mentioned his admiration for Barry Sanders, and I think that Quentin Griffin's style as a person mimics Barry Sanders. As you mentioned, from Humble, Texas, shy, retiring type, hands the ball to the referee after he scores a touchdown. Just a great all-around young man.
3rd and 2. Throw it out to Welker. Gets the first down in some running room. Crosses the 50 down to the 48-yard line. Jimmy Wilkerson finally tracking him down from behind.
Type of play that you need if you're Texas Tech, and type of play that they've used all year long. This is what I call a people play. Wes Welker is one of their better players, right? So you got to get the ball in his hands somehow. This time they do it with a long swing pass, 23-yard gain. Texas Tech's in business in Oklahoma territory.
That is their biggest game of the night, Charles. Biggest gain of the night, Charles.
Yeah, you got to find the guys who make plays for you and get the ball to them no matter what.
1st and 10. Kingsbury finds the intended receiver down to the 39-yard line. It's Mickey Peters, the junior out of Weatherford, Texas. His first reception of the night for the former high school quarterback. Eric Bassey on the coverage.
And that time, Cliff Kingsbury was able to come off of his first option, trying to throw a hitch to the wide side of the field and come inside to Mickey Peters.
2nd down and 10. The Sooners showing blitz, and here they come again. Kingsbury throws it away, tipped, intercepted, Oklahoma. Antonio Perkins, his 4th interception of the year. Looks like Tommy Harris may have gotten a piece of it from that defensive tackle spot, and Perkins is able to pick it off.
We often hear about the zone blitz from Oklahoma, and Tommy Harris fell off into coverage as a defensive lineman and tipped the ball that Antonio Perkins intercepted. Remember the first half when I said that Nate Hibble needs to throw the ball at the feet of his receiver on a screen pass that wasn't going to work very well? I think the same thing happened there with Cliff Kingsbury. The timing of the play was all off. He tried to force it a little bit. Harris made the big play. Antonio Perkins with the interception.
How about the Sooners have forced a turnover in 44 of the last 48 games.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
And they've had 1 interception in 33 of the last 37. The numbers last week versus Texas and tonight, quite a difference.
Well, it pretty much says it all. I mean, I don't have to draw, illustrate anything. You know, look at the touchdowns. 0, an interception after the last play. But they just can't get the rhythm or the tempo together. Key words that you mentioned earlier.
Well, it's now 7 consecutive games. The Sooners have had at least 2 interceptions as Quentin Griffin tackled by Rodney McKinney. McKinney, the senior out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Making the tackle was number 95.
Well, fans, for exclusive news and recruiting coverage of your favorite teams, all you have to do is log on now to Rivals.com. Well, all the coaches talking about who's signing where, who's orally committing here at Oklahoma. They've got Bob Stoops telling us yesterday they're right on track where they want to be, getting the commitments they need. Mike Leach telling us the same thing. Hibble swings it out to the far side. Griffin dodges 1 tackle, leans forward, picks up 8 on the play. I'll tell you, Coach Leach is not giving up. He is challenging his offense. Now this looks like the massaging time.
Yeah, and it's what Craig Sager mentioned at the half. You can rip them a little bit, but you got to build them back up before they go back out. Yeah. Right now, it's critical that they have some good feeling about themselves because absolutely nothing has gone right this evening. You know, they make a big play to Wes Welker. 2 plays later, the ball's intercepted. You know, Welker 23 yards downfield. They look like they've got something going. 2 plays later, Oklahoma has it going the other way. He's got to try and build up their confidence as best he can.
On 3rd and 3, Sooners keep it on the ground. Griffin, big hole over the right side down to the 40-yard line. Vincent Meeks, the true freshman out of Rockwall, Texas, on the stop.
How about Jamal Brown, number 55, and Trent Smith, number 88, right here, blocking inside, and then a kick-out block. Look at Skinner, number 75, to the right of your screen, blocking on the corner. Quentin Griffin. If Meeks doesn't make the tackle, Griffin has a chance to go all the way.
Pickup of 12 on the play, and Texas Tech's been getting such great play from their defensive tackles coming into tonight. Dominated, though, this evening.
That's what Greg McMackin had told us had been the key to the second half of the season, was the defensive line had become more physical at the point of attack against the run. Tonight, that's not happening for them.
Juwan Jones takes a big hit. He leans forward down to the 35-yard line. Pickup of 6 on the play. Marquise Turner on the stop, the junior out of Bryan, Texas. His 2nd tackle of the evening. You know, one of the things about this Oklahoma offense, you have to give Nate Hibble a chance. He's not Josh Heupel. Had a lot of pressure on him last year, taking over for such a great quarterback like Josh. He lived up to it for the most part, but you've got to give this man a chance, and you can't compare him to a Josh Heupel.
No, you really can't, and the tough part is when you look at Nate Hibble, he has all the measurables over Josh Heupel.
Right.
But Josh Heupel has the intangibles, and the intangibles are what made Oklahoma national champions in the year 2000.
Quentin Griffin averaging over 8 yards a carry tonight, closing in on 160-plus yards. Well, Lawrence Flugents has been injured, but watch this hustle.
This is why he's an All-America. Sideline to sideline. He overran it a little bit, but got just enough of Kewan Jones to help with the tackle. You know, for a guy that's down 32-0 with a bad ankle, he could very well pack it in for the evening. He knows Texas Tech's going bowling no matter what, but he's not built that way.
There's a young man that got his degree in 3.5 years in hotel and restaurant management. Shows what kind of guy he is. Straight ahead running. Lawrence Flugents is there to stand up Quentin Griffin. Flugents with 5 tackles on the evening.
Did you say 3 years he got his degree?
3.5.
3.5 years he got a degrry? It took me that long to find the library when I was in school.
We
have one?
There's a library? I didn't know that. See the numbers on him, and he gives the credit to his mom, Dolores, because when he was little, he says, listen, you know, college is just a way to get to the NFL, and Mom Dolores said, no, it isn't. No.
And the ankle injury that he has tonight, he's going to recover from that. He's out there playing now, but that's part of what happens in this game. What if you get hurt and you can't play anymore? So his mom's influence has been a big help for him.
Hibble rifles the pass to Antoine Savage. Stant stood up right as he goes inside the 20. His first reception of the evening and 28th of the year. Well, he has a reception in every game this year now with that catch.
Remember, this is senior night here at Oklahoma, the last night that these seniors will get a chance to play at Owen Field here in Norman. So with the score being 32-0, I know that consciously Bob Stoops and his staff are not thinking about guys doing things individually. But if this score continues to mount, they will try and find ways to make sure all the seniors get a chance to play and touch the ball.
3rd and 1. Kewan Jones bounces off a couple of tackles inside the 15, down to the 13-yard line. Ivory McCann on the stop. Sophomore from Houston, Texas. Well, now Oklahoma's doing what they did the first 30 minutes. They're just putting it on the ground and just using that physical offensive line that they had hoped to have this year and just running right over Texas Tech.
And they have the good swagger going right now. And oftentimes you hear the word swagger used and people take it as a negative. On the football field, it's nothing but a positive. So we take a look at the rushing total right now, 224 yards for Oklahoma. It's exactly what they've been trying to establish in the last couple of seasons.
Keep it on the ground again. Kewan Jones leaning forward. They'll mark him out inside the 5. Checked at the 6-yard line. Pickup of 8 on the play. And once again, this isn't giving Texas Tech any chance to even get the football.
Nope, toss sweep, just simple zone blocking. Everyone take a step to their left, find someone to block. Look out front, number 38. Excellent job leading on the play. Beautiful job for Oklahoma. You got to love what they're doing right now at the point of attack. And J.D. Reynolds, number 38, was the fullback with the final lead block for Kewan Jones.
2nd down and 2. Jones straight ahead, leaning forward down to the 1-yard line. You know, you mentioned simple blocking scheme on that last play. That is something that they wanted to do. They wanted to simplify things just a little bit for this Oklahoma offensive line, and they've done that.
And all it is, you know, most times just zone play. Step into the area, find a man, and block him. And you heard the kind of booing sound? That was the crowd calling for Q. They want Quentin Griffin to get in the end zone again, because often what happens in the jumbo set, Kewan Jones carries the ball in after Quentin Griffin carries it downfield.
well, you saw Bob Stoops saying, don't worry, you're going to get your chance.
Get your shot.
Here's Quentin Griffin now in the I formation. He's got the ball. Bangs forward. No signal yet. They're stacked up right at the line. Lawrence Flugents is in the bottom of that pile. Marquise Turner also right there to meet Griffin, and they'll have 2nd down and goal from the 1.
Well, they'll just come back with pretty much the same play or something similar. Watch number 38 for Oklahoma, J.D. Reynolds. He's the lead guy, the fullback. Where he goes, the tailback's almost sure to fall. There he is, right there in the huddle. He's one of those guys that would love to carry the ball, but as he said, I'm no Keyshawn Johnson. You know, I'm not going to demand the ball. I just try and blow people up blocking.
Over the top, touchdown, Oklahoma. Quentin Griffin with the touchdown. And the senior adds another 6 to his records. How about 163 yards, averaging just over 7 yards a carry? What a night for Quentin Griffin. And the extra point is good. Great surge by the offensive line. Flugents can't make the stop. It's the drama of the NBA. Listen up with Charles Barkley and Ernie Johnson. Presented by Gatorade. Kicks things off at 7 o'clock Eastern, followed by exclusive NBA coverage. Game 1, it's the Mavericks and the Indiana Pacers. Game 2, the Nets and the Clippers. And of course, the evening wraps up with Inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai. Driving kick 2 yards deep into the end zone. And Vincent Meeks usually gets the green light, not tonight. You know, this Oklahoma offense, they have had the sustained drives they needed. Their drives tonight, scoring drives, 10. They had one play on one, but then 11 and 12. So 3 of their drives have been double digits in plays.
And they've been dominated by the running game. Each of those scoring drives. We showed a graphic earlier how they've switched in their style from 63% of their passes in previous seasons to this year. I believe they're running the ball 57% of the time, 54% of the time. Great balance on offense for Oklahoma.
Well, Texas Tech wants to get something going to prove to the nation that they're not a goose egg team, but not as long as they have players like Dan Cody coming in. The 5th sack on Kingsbury tonight.
Watch how fast guys are getting in. They're barely being touched. Dan Cody, number 80, makes an inside move on number 65, Casey Keck. He's not able to slide over and get much more than a hand on him before he's in on Cliff Kingsbury. The body language of the Texas Tech Red Raiders right now is not what you want to see if you're their coach.
That's right. Loss of 11 on the play. And you can see what the Sooners have done and what the Red Raiders have done on drives. Little underneath screen. Glover finally dragged down from behind by Derek Strait.
Pass is complete to number 6.
Cliff Kingsbury hasn't had a whole lot of time all night tonight.
And this was one that, early in the game, and gets rid of it late. This time it's a safety. Look at Brandon Everidge, number 7, starting free safety. He's in on him. That time he gets rid of the ball, but there was a safety because of a hold in the end zone against his offensive line. So had to run for his life, and that is truly not the best part of his game.
3rd down and 5. OU showing blitz. They keep it on the ground. Big hole over the right side, and Torian Henderson upended by Brandon Everidge. You know, we talked about it last night at one of our meetings and after talking to the coaches, and those of us that have been hanging around this Texas Tech program dating back to the great Spike Dykes, one of all of our favorite coaches. He always recruited, as does Coach Leach, players that never quit. That's been the MO for Texas Tech for years.
And you get that a lot with guys here where they come to Tech, such as a Wes Welker, that other people overlook, and they get their opportunity here, and they're going to play their hearts out for you.
Perkins would love to duplicate that, but not going to do it. Gets up to about the 23-yard line. TBS Big Play Saturday is brought to you by. I'm Ron Thulin, welcoming you back to a sold-out Owen Field Memorial Stadium in Norman, Oklahoma. The Big 12 South Championship on the line. The winner plays Colorado in Houston December 7th. The Big 12 Championship game, and it has been all Oklahoma up until the 98-yard kickoff by Meeks. This is OU's worst field position of the night. We'll keep it on the ground. Well, the BCS, if anybody has this figured out, please call both of us because here's what everybody has remaining. Now, Oklahoma is going to remember what happened right here on this field against Oklahoma State last year. They go up to Stillwater this year. That's what they have left. The rest, figure it out.
Yeah, and I think that at this point, Ohio State has locked up the Fiesta Bowl, so they'll be one of the 2 teams. Miami of Florida, if they win out, then it's going to be Miami versus Ohio State. But if Miami of Florida falters, Washington State and Oklahoma, from my viewpoint, are the only 2 that really have a chance realistically at getting there based on the computer points.
Griffin. Left side, close to another Sooner first down. Lawrence Flugents on the top. Tackle. He has 8 tonight. But it's still, if Oklahoma you know, I mean, Oklahoma and Colorado still have to do battle December 7th. And that is a huge game. Gary Barnett is an excellent football coach. He's going to have the Buffs ready to play that game.
Well, he'll have the full motivation. They've already lost Oklahoma this year. There's nothing tougher than trying to beat a team twice in a season. Yeah. You see it a lot if you look at NCAA basketball. Get into the the playoffs, into the NCAA playoffs, and if you beat the team 2 or 3 times in a year, oftentimes that team bites you in the playoffs.
That's right.
So you really don't want to have rematches.
You
try to avoid them.
Kewan Jones on the carry, may have gotten the first down. How about the Big 12 this year, though? There was a chance 10 Big 12 teams going to bowls. Looks like there'll be 8, possibly 9 going to bowls. Last year there were 8. Remember when this conference started, everybody said it's not going to be that good.
Surprise.
I think, yes, surprise. I think that question's been answered. Kevin Weiberg and his staff did a great job scheduling. And I'll tell you, this is a conference where you beat each other up every week. Left side, Griffin, big hole, crosses the 45 up to about the 48-yard line. Raymond Pierce coming up from the free safety spot to make the tackle. Tonight's free play is created with NCAA Football 2003 from EA Sports. It's in the game, and this week we preview the possible matchup of the Big 12 championship game, Oklahoma and Colorado. In the fourth quarter, Robert Hodge hits Derek McCoy. 35-28 Colorado, but Oklahoma gets one last chance. Hibble to Griffin. Game is tied, but then Colorado kicks a game winner from 37 yards out. Colorado beats Oklahoma. Log on to EASports.com. Cast your vote on the outcome of the championship game on EA Sports. It's in the game. Right now the it's in the hand of Quentin Griffin. Josh Page on the tackle.
Well, I know that Gary Barnett and the Buffs certainly like EA Sports.
They're running out right now.
Like what they just saw.
Yep.
Pickup of 2 yards to the 50.
Pickup of 2 on the play. Griffin closing in on 200 yards rushing the football. He has 190 yards rushing tonight. He has 15 more minutes to try to get to 10. 3 quarters in the books. Oklahoma leads 46-7. See, Oklahoma took control early on, 16-0 after the first quarter, 25-0 at halftime. And they just poured it on, Charles.
And have enjoyed every minute of it other than the long kickoff return by Vincent Meeks for Texas Tech.
Pitch it back, keep it on the ground. Quentin Griffin on the carry. Of course, everybody wants to get to the Fiesta Bowl. Craig Sager is with the chairman of the Fiesta Bowl right now, Leon Levitt. Craig?
Well, thank you, Ron. Were things settled today by Ohio State winning and going out? Or?
Nothing settled yet. They're certainly in a good position, but there's 3 or 4 teams that could find their way to the Fiesta Bowl this year.
Who are they?
Well, it's Miami, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Georgia, Washington State. Those are the top 5 right now.
If Miami wins its final 2 games, though, you expect to have Ohio State against Miami since they'd be the only 2 undefeated teams.
Well, they'd be the 2 undefeated teams, and certainly that would be a great game at 2 12-0 teams. But there's still other teams. There's still a lot of football left, so who knows at this point.
Obviously, you're here to give support to Oklahoma. What do you think of this team?
Well, we have a great relationship with the Big 12. We are the conference champion where the Big 12 normally plays. This year, because we're fortunate enough to host the national championship game, we're not sure who will be in the game. But we just have a great relationship with the Big 12, and if somehow Oklahoma ended up in the game, they'd be a great team, just like 4 others would.
That obviously would be if Miami would lose one of its last 2 games.
Oh, yeah, I think that's probably what it would take. But, we'll let the BCS decide and let the polls decide, but it could happen.
Watching Ohio State today, what was your impression of the Buckeyes?
Well, they're undefeated. That's the impression of the Buckeyes, is they're 12-0, they're undefeated, and might even be 13-0, and then that's as good as you can get. They've won every game they played.
Will you follow Oklahoma the rest of the way?
Well, all the top 4 or 5 teams will follow through December 7th, which is the last weekend of regular college season football.
If you're a Boomer Sooner fan, it's not over yet, Ron.
All right, Mark Clayton on the reception. Thank you, Mr. Levitt. You have a great bowl. And if there's any chance that Charles and I could go there, we'd appreciate you letting us know. Sager's probably already got the plane fare and everything.
Oh, well,
he's down there working.
You know he's got the hookup.
Yeah, he's working it.
What I found interesting from Mr. Levitt's comments was that he was not locking up a spot for Ohio State. Which I find very unusual.
It is interesting.
Because they're going to be undefeated. I don't see how anyone can pass them, and you've just got to figure that they have the formula figured out to such a state that they kind of know who's in and who's out. You hear what I'm
That's right.
I mean, I can't understand that part of it. I figure Ohio State's in from my perspective, and it's Miami's to lose at this point.
I think it is. They have to play the politic game.
Yeah,
you know?
sure, and I don't blame them for that because you never know who you might end up with if someone gets upset. But still, the possibilities are intriguing that are out there.
How about Quentin Griffin? 205 yards running the football tonight.
Well, there's a statement going on right now by Bob Stoops and the Oklahoma Sooners, and their statement is that Quentin Griffin is the best running back in the country from their viewpoint. And Cliff Kingsbury came in with Heisman hopes. Yeah. Bob Stoops is saying, you're forgetting about our guy, number 22. You know, in a wide open field, what about him on a one-loss team that still may have a chance at the national title? And he's showcasing him right now.
Well, that's his third 200-yard game. He had 237 versus Tulsa, 248 versus Texas. Pretty impressive night. And Barbara has to be extremely pleased.
Yeah, there's Mom right there.
And Quentin's coming out of the game.
To an ovation. And if that's all for him tonight, and it very well could be.
Yeah.
You know, well-deserved ovation and rest.
Well, second down and 8, 12:55 to play in the ball game. Kewan Jones now in the game and with the football. Breaks one tackle, not going to break the hold of Ryan Aycott, the junior out of Lubbock, Texas. Yeah, I thought we might be getting a little extracurricular activity down there.
Well, things getting a little chippy now. You have a very frustrated team in Texas Tech. Tired of feeling like they've been pushed around at the end of the play. Guys are continuing to block. And
how about Lloyd Carr, though, running out in the field today in Michigan? Thought get a little chippy out there, and he went hauling out the field.
You know, I'll tell you what, we've seen some spry coaches this year.
Oh, yeah.
Although I dare anyone to challenge Joe Paterno to a foot race this season. When he ran down the official after the Iowa game, I think he locked it down.
I think he did. I think he's 4-3 on that.
No one's going to beat him in the 70 and overs.
Hibble complete to Clayton. Inside the 10, to the 5, looks for the pylon. He's out of bounds at the 3. 27 yards on the catch by Clayton.
Nice simple pass, but an excellent move by Mark Clayton. Look at that. Breaks it back to the outside. Shakes off the tackle before Raymond Pierce is able to force him out of bounds. He steps out before he can get the ball to the pylon. But Mark Clayton back healthy again after midseason knee surgery.
You know,
he's playing better and better with each week.
Well, he averages almost 20 yards a catch, and remember last year he had a key touchdown versus Texas Tech. First and goal. Not today. Jones is wrapped up on the play. Josh Page, the senior out of Waxahachie, Texas.
And the crowd once again chanting for Quentin Griffin, trying to get him into the end zone one more time. They'd love for the Heisman voters, the All-America voters, the Walter Camp voters, all the awards he's up for. They'd love to see his statistic totals continue to rise and try and get him some additional votes.
Well, I think Kewan Jones wants another touchdown because he would set the freshman touchdown record.
So Bob Stoops has a lot to consider here.
He does. Who's going to get the record?
But J.D. Runnels just wants another big block, number 38.
Here's Kewan. Not going to get the record this time. Good job by the Red Raider defense. Quentin Griffin on the sideline, just watching. And tonight's question was coming from Daniel here in Oklahoma City. What do you think of Quentin Griffin's chances of making it in the NFL? Good.
Yeah, I think they're good also. You see a number of backs out there that resemble Quentin Griffin. Look at Charlie Garner with the Raiders now.
Good point.
The career that he's had. You know, and he's not going to be just limited to being a third down back with his size. With spread formations in the NFL, he can also carry the ball too. You have to be judicious about it. But at the same time, I think his chances are good at playing on the next level.
Third down. Hibble keeps it, throws in the end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma. Trent Smith, the senior out of Clinton, Oklahoma, his second touchdown of the year. We'll talk about records. He's now one touchdown reception away from Keith Jackson, the great former tight end here at Oklahoma's record of 14 career touchdown receptions.
And I'm not sure that they had that thought in mind, but remember what I said earlier about getting seniors touches as they go out here? Kewan Jones is a freshman. Sure, freshman record is nice, but on senior night, who do you honor? You honor the seniors. Trent Smith, one of the best players at Oklahoma to play his position. They're winning big.
Game of the Movie Bowl. Matt and Cherie will wrap up their season with movie. Austin Powers after the game on the Movie Bowl, only on TBS Superstation. And I'm supposed to say, yeah, baby.
Well.
Don't think I will. Just doesn't sound right for me.
Not shagadelic for you, huh?
No, not a chance. Vincent Meeks has a 98-yarder looking for more. Up to the 20 and is dragged down from behind by Will Peoples. So now Texas Tech will take over from their own 20-yard line. Offense still has not been able to put any points on the board. They only have about 126 yards total offense, only 7 first downs.
And Oklahoma still has mainly their front line defenders on the field.
What a play by the defense again. Teddy Lehman and Andre Woolfolk coming up to make the stop. Hey, look at the score. It looks like a basketball game. How about Kelvin Sampson? Was in the Final Four last year. Probably will be in the Final Four this year. Got a great team. They won today just down at Lloyd Noble Center, 82-63. Hollis Price with 13 as they beat John Thompson's Princeton squad.
Yeah, John Thompson III, son of the famed coach and our colleague here at Turner Sports, calling the NBA games.
Incomplete. Pass intended for Torian Henderson. Lehman on the coverage. Well, let's look at this Teddy Lehman. Here's a young man, 10-6 in the 100 in high school. 75% of his tackles have been unassisted tackles. Coaches didn't believe that this guy was fast when he was in high school. The OU coaches didn't believe it.
So he said, I'll prove it to you.
Yeah, I'll go out and run the time that I tell you. And he did.
And they said, okay, you got a scholarship, son.
That's right. The pride of Fort Gibson, Oklahoma, where they have 2 stoplights now.
Yeah, the second one was almost cause for a town celebration when the second one came in.
And they're both blinking tonight.
Yeah, be interference.
Penalty flag, that will be interference.
Speaking of seniors, looks like number 22, Lance Hammer, I believe is his name. Laramie Hammer, excuse me. But he's a senior, and he's getting some playing time on senior night. He's the defensive 22 for Oklahoma. The offense, of course, is Quentin Griffin. But he was honored tonight along with his fellow seniors, and the coach is getting him on the field.
Pass interference on a defense. Spot foul. Automatic first down.
Well, at least you get some playing time.
You get a little pub, you know, you get a little face time.
I mean, you know, national TV.
Hey, I got a penalty, but hey, there I am. Check that out.
He's got the VCR rolling, I guarantee it.
Roll tape.
That's it. That's
I
it.
played.
Tell his kids.
That's right, he was there.
First down now for Texas Tech. Kingsbury going back to work. Pass is caught. Foy Munlin, the junior out of Dallas, Texas. His second reception of the night, 25th of the year.
Pass is complete, number 31.
And he's a guy they're glad is back and healthy again. He's missed a lot of time this season with a leg injury. And he's a very good runner for him. Began the season as their starting F-back, which for a lot of people would be similar to a Nebraska I-back or a tailback, but they're usually in one-back sets. They call it the F-back, and he adds another dimension to their attack when he's healthy.
How about Wes Welker tonight? Only 3 receptions coming off that huge game against Texas. But when the quarterback doesn't have time, how about a little flea flicker? Kingsbury has a man wide open down to the 30-yard line. Chances looking for 6. He's got it. That gives you something to cheer about. 67 yards. Kingsbury to Carlos Francis.
This is one of the plays we discussed in the first half where you have to find a way. Watch Woolfolk bite on the play. See him coming in? There's the receiver.
Yeah. Oops.
Oops. But look at Woolfolk's catch-up speed. Almost gets there. But Francis is pretty fast himself, maintains his edge and goes into the end zone. And that was one of the plays that Texas Tech used to use Oklahoma's speed and aggressiveness against them. You know, they bid on the run and threw it over the top. 2-point play. Mike Stoops trying to get a timeout. Didn't like his defense's alignment.
You know, even though they're up, you can see the intensity of Mike Stoops. You'll see the same from Brother Bob and also Brent Venables. They take it personally when they're scored on.
And right now, what the Oklahoma coaches have going for them is the fact they have another game, and they've given up a kickoff return for a touchdown and a flea flicker pass for a touchdown. So privately, they're smiling because they can still coach these guys up pretty hard this week.
That's right.
You know, they're not going to look at a bunch of guys going, Coach, you can't say anything to us. We played a perfect game. Oh, no, you didn't. If you played a perfect game, we would have had a shutout. So now they can coach them up real hard and get them ready for Oklahoma State without these guys resting on their laurels.
I guarantee Les Miles will have the Cowboys ready in the Bedlam series of football. Les is a fine football coach, and what a victory they had. How about a little golf course design management? The guy could probably pick up the clubs tomorrow morning, get a little tee time up at Oak Tree, and throw a 72 at you. That's already far at you.
He's pretty good. His brother plays at the University of Georgia. I'd like to see them going head-to-head. But you talk about Les Miles and Oklahoma State Cowboys, bowl eligible today with a big win over Baylor.
Good job he's done for the Cowboys. He's done a great job up there. 9 Big 12 teams are now bowl eligible. Try to find slots for them. I know Kevin Whitberg, the commissioner's here, and his staff, and they're working hard to find slots for all their teams. Well, Texas Tech is going for 2. Kingsbury in the corner of the end zone. They've got it. Mickey Peters. How did he get so wide open? That makes it a 53-15 ball game. 8:46 to play. But Kingsbury hooks up on the big touchdown pass and then the 2-point conversion. The Red Raiders not giving up. Given a concert in Lexington, Kentucky. We understand he's watching on his satellite dish in his bus. Toby, rest easy. Your Sooners are winning 53-15. Lives here in Norman.
You can go start the concert now.
Yeah, you can go. Everybody's chanting with the lighters on right now. Where's Toby? Well, he's watching the game. Come on, Toby, go on in.
Go on in and start playing.
You can start playing now. Your Sooners are up. 8:46 to play. Here's Aaron Andrews.
All right, Ron and Charles, 2 very special guests right now. Nate Hibble's parents, Tom and Cheryl. Whirlwind of a season. Senior night tonight. Of course, that quarterback controversy in the beginning of the season. Jason White gets injured. Nate steps in, never looks back. How proud of him are you?
Well, you said it. I'm very proud of him. He's done a wonderful job. Yeah, the only thing we told him is keep his chin up and keep fighting and plugging, and that's what Nate's been all about. A great character kid. Got all those traits from his mom, luckily, and has done a wonderful job this year. Tonight's been all about Quentin and the defense, though, and Nate's just part of this football team. I'm real proud of him. He's done a great job.
Well, I got to give his mom some props. His mom, Cheryl. They live in Georgia, but his mom has not missed a game all season. She's also a school teacher, and she hasn't missed a day of work. Like I said, tonight, senior night. How special is this night for you?
It's been a lot of fun to be here. It's been really exciting to come each weekend. I've almost gotten to where I feel like I'm going to miss traveling on the weekends, but coming to see Nate every weekend's just really been a real treat for us this year, and we're really proud of him.
Great job not missing any work. And you say hello to Mr. Davis, don't you? Because you know Charles.
Brother Davis, how's it going? Ryan's in Texas El Paso right now, so we're hoping for good stuff there. Playing golf.
Guys, back to you.
All right.
I think we just lost Nate's parents.
I just went down myself up here with the Roughnecks firing off the muskets down there. But
hey, we got to tell Nate's dad. Nate, last time we interviewed him, he said he had to shave because his dad told him to shave. Didn't shave tonight.
Yeah. Didn't shave, but look at the senior night production here. I mean, is this phenomenal?
Impressive.
I mean, look at Nate, and I think his dad, Coach Hibble, Coach Hibble put it so well tonight. This, a lot of times parents are so involved with their kids' lives that they forget that there are other kids out there playing. You notice the Hibbles have never lost sight of that. Great night for them, great night for Nate. And what did Coach say? This night's about Quentin and the defense, which has been the story of the game. The Hibbles are wonderful people.
Well, Paul Thompson is now a quarterback for the Oklahoma Sooners. Ronaldo Works gets the carry, the junior out of Tulsa. Paul Thompson is a true freshman out of Leander, Texas. Here is a young man. When they had the quarterback problems, Rawls was hurt, obviously Jason Whitehurt. They didn't have a backup for Nate Hibble. They had to pull the red shirt off this young man, something they didn't want to do, but Coach Stoops met with his family, told him the circumstances, and this young man willingly took it off.
And that was the key to the whole thing, is that in this day and age, you don't just make decisions in a vacuum anymore. You know, the idea that you meet with the parents and have them understand what your program needs, what you're trying to get done, eases a lot of problems for you. And this young man has willingly accepted his role and is now getting valuable experience.
Well, let's take a look at tonight's All-State good hands play, and it came on a blocked punt. Greathouse back to kick, block, touchdown, Oklahoma. Peoples.
Yeah, Will Peoples scored on the good hands play made by Brandon Shelby, number 5. All-State, the good hands play. 2 good ones right there, huh? Yeah. Actually 4. 2 by Brandon Shelby, 2 by Will Peoples picking it up and carrying it in.
Well, now the Sooners go with their backup offensive line. Pass intercepted. Ricky Saylor, his 2nd interception of the night.
Intercepted by number 21, Ricky Saylor.
Asking right now, why is Oklahoma throwing the football? This big of a lead, 7:21 on the clock. It's because this young man's a freshman, and if he's going to be on the field, he needs to run their offense in order to gain experience. And Mike Leach understands that on the other side of the field. This isn't trying to run anything up. And that one, what he's going to learn there is sometimes, and Nate Hibble's telling him, you got to take a little bit off your fastball.
That's right. He had a little velocity.
I mean, he had a little velocity on it. Brandon Jones couldn't come up with it. Ball tipped in the air. Ricky Saylor, his 2nd interception of the game.
And that's Paul Thompson's 1st collegiate interception. But with 7:21 to go, trailing 53-15, Texas Tech on the offense. Being chased again, and Kingsbury again is going to have to dump it off. Dan Cody putting the pressure from behind. Dan Cody, the sophomore out of Ada, Oklahoma, just south of Norman. He's been the surprise on this team. Didn't play in the A&M game, had some problem with a concussion, finally got cleared late this week to play in tonight's game.
And boy, was he happy to get cleared. What a night that he's had. You know, wreaking havoc in the backfield of Texas Tech. But how many times have you noticed against a good defense, when you run a trick play and you're successful and you come back with another one, you're very unsuccessful? Once you've shown a trick play, now everybody's kind of got their defenses up, and Oklahoma really is too good to be fooled very often by trick plays.
2nd and 10, they bring 5. Pocket collapses, and Kingsbury goes down again. Dan Cody with his 2nd sack of the night, joined by Lynn Magruder, the sophomore out of Las Vegas. 6 sacks on the night for this OU defense.
And right now, if you're Mike Leach, you know what else is running through your head? At one point, do I pull Cliff Kingsbury and not get him hurt?
Yeah.
You know, before a bowl game, he's had a terrific career. And that play, I believe, it looked like number 90, Eric Hilaire, in the sack. I mean, between 80 and 90 is tough to tell sometimes, but I think Eric Hilaire ended up getting the sack on that one.
Another senior play out of Oklahoma City. Pass incomplete on 3rd down and 12. Intended for Torian Henderson. Texas Tech, I think, will be forced to kick it, but nobody's moving to come out to kick.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Mike Leach is going to decide to do here. It looks like he's going to go ahead and go for it. I mean, feeling they have nothing left to lose at this point. But you mentioned Hilaire. He's a walk-on.
Yeah.
He's now getting to play. Another example of the old adage, those who stay in a program will eventually play. And Eric Hilaire got his chance as a senior and has made the most of it.
Well, Tech tried one other time on 4th down, didn't get it. 2 to snap it. 1 to snap it, he's not going to get it off. Finally, the official blows the whistle. They're going to go back 5 more yards. It'll make it 4th and 17.
5-yard penalty.
When you're down 53 to 15, sometimes that urgency doesn't quite creep in.
Yeah.
You saw how long it took him to go over and get the play call. And then it wasn't as if Cliff and the offense just dashed back out to try and get it off, because ordinarily he's sharp and focused and in the ball game. Talk about Cliff Kingsbury.
Right.
It's been such a tough night that it takes you, dulls your edge a little bit, and he wasn't conscious of the play clock. It ran out on him. Now it's 4th and 15.
Straight drop pressure coming. Throwing deep down the sideline, and the Sooners will take over. 6:24 to play in the ball game, and this OU offense, or OU defense, stands up to the challenge again. Now you can only sense his frustration, and it's tough because they have been operating on all cylinders lately, but the bubble's been burst tonight. Now, just a reminder, we don't want you to miss the drama of the PGA Grand Slam of Golf on TNT. Tiger Woods, he's won it 4 times, takes on Rich Beam, Justin Leonard, and Davis Love III. Catch all the action starting on Tuesday, November 26th, only on TNT.
Now, what's this about EJ and Charles going to Hawaii?
Yeah.
Gonna do their show from Hawaii?
Yeah. They're going to Hawaii. Bobby Clampett will be there. Billy Kratzer will be there. And Ernie will be there. Pass complete to the 20-yard line. Paul Thompson gets it over to Brandon Jones, the sophomore out of Texarkana, Texas. Also the Oklahoma center fielder on their baseball team. Very talented young man, drafted by the Yankees. Must be nice to have that choice. Let's see. OU football, national championships,
New York
World
Yankees.
Series.
Two pretty good programs, huh?
That's right. Two good programs, good recruiting. Here's our poll results. How many Big 12 teams will go to the bowl games this season? Well, 6, 48%, 8, 44% of you, and 8% said 10. How about 9? Keep it on the ground inside the 15, down to the 13-yard line. Ronaldo works. Well, here's the bowl arrangements. The BCS, of course, will be the national championship. The Cotton Bowl will get the number 2 team in the Big 12. Holiday Alamo Bowl. Derek Fox has a great bowl down in San Antonio. Pesky Hill and the guys. Tom Starr, Independence Bowl, great bowl game. Of course, you also throw in the Houston, the Tangerine, and the Humanitarian Bowl in there.
And don't be surprised if some of the other conferences that don't fill their bowl slots, that there's not another one that a Big 12 team doesn't appear in. Because you know they're going to negotiate hard to make sure all 9 teams that are eligible have a chance to go play in the postseason.
There's our first look at Gerard Estes, the junior out of Wichita Falls, Texas. Only his 9th rush of the year. 6'1", 185-pound junior. So Coach Stoops putting in the second-team line, and you see Lamont Anderson, the player injured on the play. Now, one of the big games, Washington State, with an update. Here's our Ernie Johnson.
Yeah, Ron, and things have tightened up considerably in that game. You saw the score was 20-10. That's when Cody Pickett hit Paul Arnold to make it 20-17. Now, Jason Gesser of Washington State hurt his right leg. It's his right shin. He needs to be x-rayed. He's out. His sub, Matt Kegel, throws the pick to Nate Robinson. Washington in position late in the game to tie things up. And they turn to John Anderson. And suddenly that game is Barbara Walters, 20-20. They're going to overtime.
Somebody call Hugh Downs. You know, I can see that score clearly, Ernie.
You know, when you're getting ready to get on a plane and go to Hawaii, all of a sudden you can joke about everything, can't you? You know?
You can.
Just like our man Corey up here.
That's right. By the way, we have a moment. We want to thank our entire crew, everybody in the truck, our producer, Scott Cockrell, our director, Lonnie Dale, Bert Bondi, Maceo Grant, Jeremy Levin. Thank you, everybody at Turner. You've made this year. This is our last game. Kevin Weiberg of the Big 12, Tim Allen, Bo Carter, all our friends at the Pac-10, thank you. And a special thank to Sam Polis up here in the booth with us. Been with me for about 7-8 years now. Makes us look good every week. Thank you, my friends. We appreciate all your help this year. Pass is complete inside the 10, down to the 6-yard line. And the fans, Chester on the reception.
Chris Chester, his second catch of the year. His first one came in the Missouri game. Many people remember that on the fake field goal. Matt McCoy hit him at a time that it looked like Oklahoma was really struggling in the game, and they faked it and got it. That was the only catch Chester had up until this point.
He's a big one. Now the fans on 4th down saying just go for it, and Bob Stoops will probably run the football.
Yeah, run it inside and see if you get it, great, and if you don't, so be it.
Yep.
I mean, there is a nice code among the coaches for some sportsmanship.
Well, some of the coaches wanted a timeout. No, Thompson's going to throw it, puts it up, end zone, touchdown, Oklahoma, Brandon Jones.
based on my comments, people could say, as we take a look here at Paul Thompson, throwing the touchdown pass. Nice in move by Brandon Jones, moving back out to the pylon, an excellent catch. And you see Bob Stoops happy to see good execution. A lot of people would think that what I was saying was if he didn't run the ball, it wouldn't be good sportsmanship. That's not the case at all.
Yeah.
It's just right now, I go back to what I said before. You got a young kid in the game. You got to get him experience. It's not a matter of running it up. It's a matter of him getting game experience in situations he'll have to play throughout his career. And Oklahoma is truly rolling.
Something to cheer about is Oklahoma leading.